Well, hello, new day, new live stream. Live stream Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing tonight? I see that we have Switzerland here. And we have quite a bit of people already in the chat, which is great. We do have our votes going. Twitch, I want you to pay attention. There is a poll that you need to focus on. And it looks like everyone, 100% of the people are voting on the XPS inside Twitch. But I know it's hard to see that poll. So I want you to actively pay attention to that because you guys have a say in what's getting fixed in this stream. So, well, hello. Montgomery's naming all the machines that wondering if we sent some of the 2100, an Inspiron 2100 or 3500 or 3800 or 4000, 5000, 5000E, 7500, 8000, 8500s. Can you get all of them back to up and running as OEM? I could possibly. Like I still have some of those parts, but a lot of those parts are kind of like gone. Like they've all been purchased out of my warehouse already. I see Princeton, Texas is here. California in the house. Jamaica in the house. We got Florida. Yeah, everyone vote, vote, vote. So Twitch, I want you to kind of really pay attention to that poll there. So we do actually have a pretty good amount of voters on Twitch right now. Almost 100% are voting, which is nice. And so what we're doing is we're going to take the highest percentage that wins, basically. Not the highest number of votes towards one machine, but the highest percentage. So right now we have 59% going to the XPS and 64% going to the XPS. So on both channels. So I think that XPS is winning at this particular moment. Hello in Denmark, Canada, and New Jersey. Aloha from, I guess, probably Hawaii, right? We got Nebraska, Florida, Wisconsin, Argentina, Yosemite. We got hello from Oz. Somebody's in the Wizard of Oz, right? Well, hi-ho! Oklahoma. The polls are very visible on YouTube, at least. Yeah, so YouTube, they're almost like in your way. They make you kind of press the button. On Twitch, they kind of blend in. I know it's kind of hard for them to pay attention to that, so that's why I've actively kind of shouted out. Hello from Belgium, Florida, Tampa, Florida. Let's see. Ohio, Netherlands. You got 125 lodge members watching tonight with ribs and bourbon. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. That's incredible. Wow, well done. Well done. Montgomery is wrangling the troops. Hello in Idaho. So cast your votes. This is our time to cast your votes. You're trying to get me to work on a machine that I haven't looked at. So I have 3 different laptops to put up there. I don't look at them ahead of time. I don't want to know what's going on with them. I like to go in cold, plug my ears if anyone's talking about them. And we just kind of figure it out together. I do these streams twice a week. So if it's the first time here, this is what we do. We're just going to try to do, it's probably going to be a board repair. We're going to be doing some soldering, things like that. I want to, while y'all are voting, I actually want to thank some people. I got a couple gifts shipped to me, and I thought it was kind of nice. So I have some honey that was sent over to me, and this was actually shipped in from Alberto, from his hometown in Dominican Republic. And he knows how much I like honey because I put it in my coffee. So like I have my cold brew right here, has honey in it. And so I got some Dominican Republic honey, so that was really nice of them to send that in. I also got a few more gifts sent in from Daryl. He was the one who sent the ultrasonic cleaner I guess last stream. We opened the ultrasonic cleaner up, and so he actually sent me some more things. I got a official iFixit tweezer set, which I've never had one of these, so this is pretty deluxe. We're going to have to try those out. And then I was commenting on how I like these swabs that go to a point, and I was out of them, and I get them in the beauty aisle. I think these are a little more deluxe. These are more of the precision style, so these might actually be better. I've never tried these before, so we're going to give those a try too. So, yeah, so I want to thank both of you, the channel supporters, for that. That was also very nice. We got a couple minutes left on that poll, and so you got to kind of vote, vote, vote. Let me see if I could pull up the poll. It will tell me what the time left is on it. Well, I can't do that right this second. But I got the honey, and oh yes, did y'all see the new shirt? Well, here's this shirt right here. I have this on there, but I made a new shirt, and let me see if I can pull it up. It was inspired from last Sunday's stream, and then you guys know how much I love liquid metal, right? And so I made a shirt that was inspired by that, and here it is. And if you want to read it, it says, it's the definition of LLM, all right? By spreading unpredictably across duplicate circuits, LLM learns to destructive relationships between gallium and aluminum, usually resulting in permanent motherboard damage and deep technician regret. I hate liquid metal. So anyway, I have this shirt on my store. If y'all want to do it, you can just get the link inside the video description or my merch link. I thought that was pretty funny. So I came up with that this morning, and got that posted. So let me know what y'all think. But you love the red shirt, huh? Yeah, this is my listing of all the things that I have to do. And it's the joke on I always say, let's go ahead and do something. So let's say, let's go ahead and do that. So, but yes, okay, Twitch's poll is about to end. We got 81% going for the XPS, and we got 56% on YouTube going for the XPS. This is the first time in history that we have a consensus on the same laptop model across both networks. So that is awesome. Limited liability metal. That's actually a really good one too. Darn it. Could have thought about that too. Yeah, it's pretty funny though. Oh, Nathan needs a bingo t-shirt. Yeah, that'd be funny too. So I think that we're probably going to end up going with this XPS, because I can see that it's definitely winning on all the polls, and I don't think anything's going to make it change, so we can grab that. Oh, one other thing. Yes, it is official. Twitch says it won now. So I'm ending the poll, and we are going for this XPS. Should be kind of fun. I got a new follower from Monteith. Welcome. I have a sneak peek on a video idea that we're going to do. Here, let's check it out. So you know Montgomery was just naming all these machines. Wonder, thank you for the Prime Twitch subscription. I have a 1991 Dell 320N here. If I can open it, these latches are busted. But I plan to work on this at some point and see if we can get this thing working. But here it is. Look at this thing. You had one of those? It has upgradable memory. I think it has 1 meg. You can go up to 5 megs. I think you can put a math coprocessor in there or something like that. And has a removable battery. The hype train has started. Here we go. We got another Prime sub. Thank you. So this thing doesn't even have a touchpad, which I think is pretty funny. It took me a little while to even notice it doesn't even have a touchpad or a trackpad. It's just a keyboard. So anyway, my idea with this is, I haven't tried to turn it on or anything. I've had this thing inside my display case of I have kind of a museum up here. I haven't tried to turn it on. I think it'd be fun to try to make a charger for it, because I don't have the charger. I don't know how many volts it runs off of. It might run off of 12 or 19 or what. I have no idea. So I'll have to make a barrel jack, and then we'll see if we can get this thing working. I doubt I can get the battery going, but we'll figure that out. So, and it takes a floppy disk. So we'll go over it. I think that'll be a kind of a fun project. So our goal's been met. How did I get my goal met? What? Man, thank you so much. Wow, that's pretty quick. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me grab our, wow. You guys are blowing it up tonight. Let's grab this XPS, because that's what we're working on tonight. So let's pull this out. So I want to show you the customer's note on here, and let's take a look here. I'll zoom you in. And so this is the customer's note. Will not power on. Had diagnosed it from a local repair shop, stating that the MOSFET and power distribution chips were bad. They recommend a new motherboard, and I saw some awesome videos. Wonder, thank you. Thank you for the cheer. So let's see if we can work a miracle on this one. That's what they want. They want a miracle. We're going to give them a miracle, right? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So this is what we got. Let me make sure we don't have any personal information. I do not. So we will need a couple things. Let me make sure that I have my power meter set up for the USB. Let's turn that on. Where's that? That one? New Prime sub. Thank you. Thank you, Parkin. Okay, so where's my power meter? Why isn't it up and going? Let me check it here. There it is. And then we'll back over here. There we go. Okay, so we have our power meter here. So I'm going to use our USB-C, and then we're going to plug it in and turn it on. I just want you to pay attention to the power meter here when we plug this in. I just want to see what it's doing. We didn't do our intro, but I think we're okay with that, right? So we plugged it in, and it's negotiated to 20 volts. So the way a USB works, it starts out with 5 volts, and then we'll negotiate up to that 20 volts. But it did do the 20 volts, and it's pulling 0.99 right out the gate. Let me unplug this and plug it back in. Man, you guys are going crazy tonight. We got the hype train going, and I've already reached a goal of followers. Good job. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in again. Pay attention to that. It jumps to 0.01, and then it went to 0.99. So what we're looking at is we're trying to figure out why it's, something shorted. Brent is calling something shorted. I think it is. So it should not do that. It should actually just jump up to like 0.01, 0.02 and rest of that, unless we have the battery unplugged and it's trying to do a CMOS reset and it's booting up. But still, the boot up process on that should be like 0.1, and it will go down, and it will jump up and start moving around. But if it's just sitting there, I guarantee something's getting hot, and we can go thermal once we get this thing open. You guys love that thermal camera. We're going to do it for sure. Are we having any audio issues? I do see one note in there saying that we're having audio delays. Are we having any audio delays or any issues with syncing of my lips? I'm going to take this bottom off while you guys confer. Audio is great on Twitch. Perfect. Okay, you refreshed it and it fixed it. Perfect. Thank you so much for confirming that. And are the alerts too loud? Let me know if the alerts are too loud and I can turn those down too. All right, so I'm going to get this bottom off, and depending on how hard this is, I can tell if, well, I guess the repair shop had already opened it. I was going to say that these things are hard to open if you've never been opened before. All right, perfect. Audio is perfect. All the audio is good. All right, so you guys are really having a good time tonight, and I'm having a good time. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm just going to pry this off with my hands. You could use a pry tool on this, but because it's been opened before, I'm just going to pry it off with my fingers. And the bottom is off. Let's take a quick look around. We have our main battery. It is a Dell Genuine OEM. That is a real serial number. I can tell the label's real. It's not fake. We have an NVMe slot, but it's not populated. I can feel this is just a heatsink. We have 2 sticks of RAM. This is going to be DDR4. Which model did I say this was? This is a 9520, so this would be like a 2022 model. And then there's the fans. They look really clean. So this machine looks like it hasn't even been used that much. It looks very flawless. But I'm going to unplug the main battery because we know that there's probably a short on the board. And I want to... Is it hot? Ooh, I feel some heat here. Let's go thermal. You want to go thermal pretty fast? Let's just go thermal now. So let's get that pulled up. So we're underneath the thermal camera. I almost guarantee that we're going to see something pretty quickly when we plug this in. Now, whether it's going to be on this side of the board or the other side of the board, I don't know. This is going to be where the power input is. This is the battery. Here, I'll switch to the other camera for a second. This is where the battery plugs in. And the power management chip is actually on the other side of the board. But these are the MOSFETs that handle the powering of the board and charging the battery. This is our PD controller, so we could have a shorted PD controller, and that's what actually is doing the communication here. It's negotiating the 20 volts, but we are getting our 20 volts negotiated for the USB-C. So we know that that's probably working. So it's probably outputting. It's going to output through these two chips, and then it's going to go to our power management chip. So let's plug it in and see what happens. Y'all ready? Going thermal. This time we did not pull our 20 volts. So look up there. You don't see it pulling 20 volts. I'm going to use the other port. That was just one of the ports. Okay, the other port does it, and ooh, that's getting really hot. So that is our power management chip. I mean, excuse me, that's our PD controller chip that's getting burning hot. Or is it? Or is it right next to it? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Wow, that was hot. Okay, so it was not that. So let me show you what it was actually getting. Oh my gosh, that was hot. That was hot. Let me get down in here. So something to point with. So here, this is the PD controller chip. What is going on here? Oh no, do we have, is this an easy burrito? I think this is an easy burrito, guys. I'm gonna put some alcohol right here. And I just want to see if we see any sizzle. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see some sizzle in this area. You ready? Okay, pay attention closely. 3, 2, 1. Sizzle. Not an easy pizza, it's an easy burrito. I'm in Texas. I think it's this guy right here in the middle. I could actually see the crack in it. Can you see the crack in it? Let me know. I want everyone to tell me. Easy lasagna. Yes, it's an easy lasagna. Everyone can see it, right? Here, I'll point it out in case you can't see it. The crack is right here. There's a little line that's going right across that. I don't know if I can get it focused better or not. Right around there. And you can see this dark area here. I don't know what's going on with that. That's kind of a strange one, but yeah, that's definitely shorted. Now, what it kind of looks like though, oh, sorry, focus. I think we're outputting, I don't even know what we're supposed to be outputting here, but this is a current sense resistor, and this resistor is getting hot, and then that's shorted, so therefore it's probably shorting the ground, so therefore that's making this get burning hot. Let's take that guy off of there and see if we resolve the issue. We'll just take it off. 2 seconds. I'll just use, I don't know, we'll use our hot tweezers, because then we don't really have to pull the whole board out to do that. And then it's really an easy... And then we can go to the next one, if that's what it is, if it's that quick. I mean, this crack is pretty noticeable. I don't know how well... Yeah, you can almost see it better at that angle. Oh no! All right, so let me heat these hot tweezers up. I'm going to use a little bit of hot air to kind of help it. And I'm dedicated. What's up? Buffering. Okay. All right. Well, let's wait a second. Oh, I see some errors. Yep. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. We got to pause for a second. Thanks for letting me know. I see a few drop frames for a second. It dropped like 500 frames for a second, and now everything looks fine. It might have just been one little stutter because it's not doing anything now. Does everything look good okay? I think we're good now. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, I'm going to move on. So what I was going to say, what did I do with it? Oh, right here. So I've dedicated one 7-day period to using NF Flux. Okay, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's supposed to be the best, and it's really not bad at all. I feel like it's better for soldering with soldering irons than it is for hot air. That's like kind of my only thing I would say. And it's fine. I mean, but if I had a choice between ordering Amtech and this, I would order the Amtech. I think the Amtech is still better, but I'm going to give it a whole week. So I still have a few more days left of using this dedicated the entire time. So, because I want to be fair. But I mean, it's so clear. It looks pretty. Definitely looks pretty. All right, let me get this guy off of here. I'm at a really bad angle. See how my hot tweezers are this angle, and I need to come and grab from the other angle, so let me rotate this board. This is kind of hard working on it when it's still installed in the machine, but we're just going to try to see if we can get this thing to work without even having to take a screw out. I do have the battery unplugged, by the way, guys. I did not leave it in because I'm smart. Who sells Amtech now? Well, I thought that Northridge, or I thought he still was selling some Amtech, right? Maybe 213. I mean, 213 is what I actually like. The 559 is what's supposed to be replacing this stuff. But you see how running this is? Once you heat it up, it starts running away, and I don't like that. I want it to kind of stick there, but... So I'm only doing 300 degrees C, and what I'm trying to do is just heat this up. I don't want to melt that connector, so I'm trying to warm the board. But there's big power planes here. And my hot tweezers, come on. Hot tweezers, there we go. Come on. Uh-oh. I think it's this hooked to a trace right here it doesn't want to come undone. Let me switch to something hotter. Yeah, it gets watery whenever it gets hot, like immediately. That's why I think it's kind of strange for it. Let me add some more solder to these either side here. So I'll show you again, like with a soldering iron, it actually works okay. But look how liquid it is. So because it's hot, you see it just ran perfectly flat and it kind of ran away. But we're going to I'm going to add some solder to the side of this. Because this side is actually hooked to a trace and it's attached to it. So I'm trying to get it off of there without ripping the trace. Come on. Come on. You can do it. See, it doesn't want to get off of there. I don't want to rip the trace. But there's a chance that this capacitor is actually attached to that trace because it's been burning hot. Come on, there we go. I'm trying to lift this up to get off of there. Okay, got it off. So I mean, this is like all the examples I saw of him using this was he was just holding it here like this, and he's like, yeah, see, it works great. I'm like, okay, well, show me with the hot air station. You can see that pad's a little loose. Let me clean this up and show you. And it is kind of dark and caramely. Now, I know that's not supposed to do that. But... And then this is the other issue. Look, I'm trying to clean it up. Look at this. Do you see this? That's the other thing I'm not really enjoying. So I have alcohol in here, and I usually would just kind of roll this back and forth, and it would come right off. And it's not really doing that. So, so in order to get this off, see how it doesn't want to come off? It's like kind of gooey. Yeah, see, it's already hard. See, it doesn't want to come off. It's all hard there. So now I have to reheat it again. So I'm going to reheat it. I got my alcohol ready. Reheat. And then I'll roll it again. Reheat. This is why it's been kind of bothersome. I've had to spend all extra time cleaning up after it. But, I mean, it's not bad stuff, but it's just kind of annoying. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't call it... Okay, I'm going to say it's not junk. So I would say this is better than that stuff that you buy some like knockoff stuff on China, you know, AliExpress or something. It's not that, but it's not as good as Amtech. It's not the best. Which is this pad is part of the capacitor still attached to that thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that off of there. I can't. Well, I don't. It's annoying to use, but I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that. I'm trying so hard. But I've been using it every single day since last Friday. Every day. On every machine. I'm trying to get in here. Clean this. Okay. It's kind of stuck on there. You see how that pad wants to move? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that piece off without breaking that pad. I could probably just solder right onto it, I think. Yeah, it's welded. This is just a piece of the capacitor hooked to this pad, if anyone's wondering. And if I add more of this flux, it's just more work. There we go. Maybe we're getting in progress here. No, see, you can see shattered ceramic capacitor attached to this. I'm trying to get that off. Can anyone see what I'm trying to do? It's just like stuck on there, and every time I kind of wipe it. Did someone do something here? Let's see. I think I'll be able to solder just across it, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to have to do it like that. Now, capacitor is just a filtering thing anyway. It's not going to be carrying... well, I'm pretty sure this is a filter. Should be. I'm not 100%. Where's my toothbrush? Another Prime sub. Thank you so much. TJ. Clean this up. Okay, so at this point, the board should turn on, actually. So let's go ahead and just try that with this off of here. That's assuming that's the only issue. It could be a combination of things, because we could have had that capacitor, because we saw like one side of it had like that char mark on it. So there could be a chance that it got like messed up when somebody opened it. Maybe. All right. So now we're going to pay attention to the power meter once more. Get ready. Look right up here. I got the battery unplugged. We're just going to plug in the charger again. And now we're sitting at a healthy 0.06, then 0.09. They should jump up 1.03 amps. And let's see. We don't have a screen yet, but that is a good, healthy boot process. Yeah, we'll replace the capacitor in another video. Is that right, Joe? Is that what you're saying? If for all of you guys out there, we don't necessarily need that capacitor, but it is good to have it there. I will be putting another one back on. You know, but if you ever watch Soren's channel, he is another repair tech that will replace the capacitors in another video. I think he started putting capacitors back on now, but all right, we still don't have the Dell screen. Usually we'll have the Dell screen when it's going through this little process right here. So we'll have to take a look here and see if what it's doing, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time because it is moving around like it is about to post, unless they mess with the BIOS or something like that, but because it was at another repair shop. It's going down. It's 1.3, 1.7, 1.8, 2.5. So now we're up to 3. It should be coming on soon. Come on, buddy. Come on. That flux is rubbish. You wouldn't use it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it until Friday, so I have 2 more days, and then I'll go back to my other stuff. So acts as a filter. Gary, yes, it just acts as a filter. Usually it's basically for spikes. This one may actually be in series and not in parallel. Okay, we did get the Dell screen. There we go. It just took a little while for it to come up to that. Do you see a Windows login screen with it? What just happened? I missed it. I missed it. All right, there we go. Date and time. So we did get the turn on. So we did resolve that issue. I'm just going to boot into diagnostics real quick. We want to see... Wow, that's blown out. The hard drive is not installed, so we're going to bypass that. I'm going to plug in the battery while it's on. I'm crazy. So battery's plugged in now. It's probably saying the battery's not plugged in. It is, because I just plugged it in. We're going to let it run through these things. You use, let's see, I use on desktop motherboards, no problem, but laptops, you don't use it. Good work, Easy Burrito, yes. I saved another laptop! So that one was actually very easy, very short. So we need to pull up the poll to figure out what the second place was. I didn't pay attention to that. We should have looked at that, what the second place was going to be, because I wasn't even ready for what we're going to be working on next. Because this one's going to be fixed in a few minutes after we put the new capacitor on there. So Liquid leaks matter. Yeah, we could do liquid leaks matter. How can we tell if the Amtech Flux is authentic? Oh, maybe we could do 3 for 3 for today. I don't know how to tell if the Amtech Flux is authentic or not. So I have this vial of mystery fluid here, which is an old Northridge Fix vial, but then I bought a syringe off of AliExpress, and then it didn't have the plunger, so I just put it in here. So this mystery fluid is supposedly authentic Amtech Flux 559, but I don't know. I have no clue. So we can kind of go through that if we wanted to. Yeah, first save only took 15 minutes. That's pretty quick. I think that's a record. I think it's a record. So can somebody tell me what the second place was? I think I can find the polls on Twitch somewhere. If I can find the button. Sub. I don't know what happened to my button. I had a button that was for polls, to find the past polls, but I don't know where it is. I don't have it pulled up anymore. So somebody figure that out for me. I need second place, so we need to know what we're working on next after I put this one together. So the next highest percentage is what we're going for. So there you go. Everything's working. It's charging the battery. The battery wasn't detected. Here, I got to start this over again. Sorry, because I didn't plug in the battery in time. I just want to make sure the battery's charging, and then we need to make sure all the ports work. That's the other thing. Alienware powers off immediately. So that's second place. Okay, there we go. We have the battery detected. It's at 62% charged, and it's washed out like crazy. How can we make it not so washed out? I don't know. I'm going to unplug the charger. Okay, let me just do it like this. Maybe that helps. There we go. I'm going to unplug the charger. It's running off the battery, so you can see the current coming out of the battery. Now it's coming out there. We're going to plug into a different port. And it's detected. See if it switches to power charging. 130 watt. Now it should negotiate, and we got current going in. There we go. And I'm going to do the last port just to verify. To replace obsolete batteries, is there a company that I recommend? You know, I don't know, because yeah, I don't sell aftermarket batteries, and so have I been able to recommend any good, reputable? I think it's a Battery Depot or something like that, and they probably have a good selection. As long as they give you a warranty with it, then I think you'll be okay. You really have no choice but to get some sort of aftermarket battery if they don't make it anymore. So, because I only stock what I stock, right? So here's the last one. We're waiting for that to negotiate. There we go, charging, and it's 2.7 amps. So this guy is good to go. We just need to put that capacitor on. Or should we put the capacitor on in another video? I'm just going to do it real quick. All right, so I'm going to put this on, and then we're going to do the next one, which you said was the M15 R, or the 15 R3, right? So let's grab a donor board, because I don't know what the capacitor value that is. 9320, I think these are the 20s right here. Got to find a board that I already stole parts out of. There we go. All right, so here is a donor board, same model. And we're just going to steal the components off of this corner right here, because that's the capacitor is it a different layout or is it the same layout? It's the same layout. It just looked a little different to me for a second. So here's the capacitor. This is the one we're going to be taking right here, and then we're going to put it right there. So I'm going to try to do this as clean and as fast as possible. Do it real quick. New shirt, do it real quick. Okay, I'll bookmark that. Yeah, I could do it real quick. Let's do it real quick. Did anyone buy that shirt yet that I made today? I just posted it. Someone could be the very first person to get that shirt, because I haven't even ordered one yet. I need to order one. The one that is the LLM, leaking liquid metal. How much I love that leaking liquid metal. Let me pull this off. Leave it off. Dan, you want me to leave it off? I can't do it. I just cannot morally do that. I mean, I can do it on another, I can do it later if you guys don't want to watch it, but it's not going to take that long to do it. So if I put a vote up right now, 50-50 people would be like, yes, do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So I'm just going to do it. Rick, hello, welcome. Only 57 likes, apparently. Okay, we got that one off. See how much easier that came off? Just the way it was supposed to do it. Okay. And we'll just get this one back on, and then we can move on with life. And I have some fur that came off my tweezers here. Ah! This is why I don't like hot tweezers. I always complain about this, because it always sticks to them. And now I have a bunch of stuff all over it. There we go. There we go. Okay. It looks chocolatey brown to me. It's not clean. I don't understand why it's supposed to stay clean, and I don't see it staying clean. Unknown, now 161. Good. Perfect. Good job. Just the way it's supposed to be. Although we have 649 people watching. So if everyone went and hit the like button out of that 600 people, it'd be great. And we have 53 Twitch viewers, which is nice. And you guys are participating in the polls, which is great, because that's apparently Twitch doesn't participate in polls very well, so I'm pretty happy with that. You guys are, you guys love talking about this flux here. Okay, this is. See, it's kind of weird the way the flux operates. It's chocolatey. All right, we're done with this one. I can't get this cleaned up. Look how ugly that looks, though. Can I actually be done with that? Can I do it? Here, I'm going to put my... This is my 213 that I like to use instead. Let me show you what that looks like. If you guys just want it, if you're interested to know. Here's what my 213 looks like. See how thicker see how much thicker it is? And look at that. Look how pretty that was. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love this stuff. It's like totally different. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. And look how clean it is, how easy it was to clean. It's like a dream. These are the comments that he was going for. What is this? Do you guys see something weird? Where's my tweezers? We come in peace. What is that? Piece of solder? Okay. All right, we're good. We are good. Yeah, caramely like bourbon. What flavor is your Flux bourbon flavor? Single malt, or is it Evan Williams flavored? I just want to make sure it still works. We're up to 247 likes, but we have 669 people in our stream. Machine's still working. All right, that one's done. Check. So can we get 3 done tonight? I don't know. That'd be nice. Less work for tomorrow. Remind me which one's the next one? You want to update the title? Oh, would you already change it? M15 R3 shuts off suddenly. So not the one with the power rail, right? Is it an M15 R3? No, it's... Wait. Can't remember now. Because they both kind of had similar descriptions. Oh, 15R... It's just a regular 15R3. Update that. So it's not an M15 R3. It's a 15R3, which is older. and it said it shut off suddenly. Hello, hello, thanks for the follow. Okay, 2 down, 1 of 2. No, we're gonna go 3. We're gonna get 3 done. Hopefully this one will be nice and fun. Customer's note on this one is as follows. Laptop suddenly shut down. Notice the power brick light or ring went out. Unplugged the brick, plugged it back in. As soon as I plugged it in, it went off. So that means we have a short on the main power rail most likely. Cannot turn the laptop on, battery's disconnected, power brick still powers off when connected. I'm assuming that there's a short or something. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you on this board, that's not a good thing. When we have a shorting issue when we plug it in, not a good thing. I don't want to actually plug in the charger on this, but I'm gonna tell you what would happen if I did it. So you see my power meter right here? Whenever I plug this in, it's going to short out my power brick. It's going to send 20 volts straight to whatever's shorted, and it's going to shut it off and put it in protection mode. If this happens to be going through the CPU, then the CPU's toast. The more you do this, the worse off it's going to get. So I'm not going to do it again. We're just going to open up the bottom. I can show you that it doesn't turn on, though. We can do that, at least. But that's why I don't want to do it, because if he's already done it quite a few times, then it may already be toast. The bottom is already open, and the bottom is off. All right, battery's unplugged like he said. So this machine's one of those fun machines where everything's kind of covered by this middle frame, so you can't really access anything. But we have quite a few different components already taken out. So there was a 2.5-inch hard drive here, or SSD, that's missing. The NVMe here is missing. That's missing here. This is missing here. So all that stuff is gone. I'm going to start taking screws out because we're going to take this whole bottom part off. I can't even measure power. All the power rail stuff is right here. I can't measure until I take this off. So you guys start chatting with me while I take this off. But I have these screws I have to deal with. Okay. You have an inquiry on a Meta Quest. You know, I fixed a Meta Quest for my nephew. He had dropped it. I'd never worked on one before, and I just bought another one that was completely broken and used that for parts. Let's see. Jeopardy theme. Do, 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 do. How old is this one? So this would be a 15R3. It's a 17R4. It's a 15R3, same machine or same motherboard. I believe circa 2020. We got rated. All right. Welcome, guys. We are working on a 15R3. So I think this is a 2017 machine. And so because it has a shorted power rail and they tend to fail on the CPU power rail, we may have a bad CPU, but we'll see how it works. But yeah, 2016-ish is usually right around there. This would have like probably a 6th gen i7, and then probably a 1080, maybe a GTX 1080. But we have to get this whole middle frame taken off in order to even get in there. So let's see if I can get these things pulled off. There's like 1,000 screws in here. You've only seen them up to 1070. No, they definitely have 1080s, because I've definitely worked on plenty of them with 1080s in them. Because it's always, actually, what it ends up being is that the person has the 1080 version that they want. So. You have the 10, yeah. So Sean has a 1080. But it's the 17R4. So yeah, again, it's weird they did that weird naming scheme at this particular time, but so a 15R3 is the same as a 17R4. Why do I know that? Why is that useless information in my head? I have a lot of useless information. Well, 1080 mobile, yeah. So what is that, the same as a 1070? I don't know. So 1080M, I guess I should specify. Makes it sound less cool though. All right, do we have the middle frame undone yet? There's always a secret screw in these middle frames. This is the 15.4 inch screen, I think. So it's going to take me longer to take back off. Yeah, take the back off than this to fix this, probably. You know, I haven't opened one of these this week, so I always forget where the screws are after a few days. You know what I worked on today? I fixed 3 M16 R1s from 3 different repair shops, or 2 from a repair shop and 1 from a personal. A person, and they all had the exact same issue. I did 3, and they all had a shorted DDR5 power rail. All of them. Have I ever worked on an Alienware that was pre-Dell? Well, we've definitely had them here, but we don't work on them because we only you know, do the Dell stuff. Only Dell. But I've seen them. And I never got any parts, so all the stuff that's coming in from Dell is going to be a Dell, has to have a Dell serial number on it, or a Dell part number, and so we've never gotten any parts that were for it. Okay, that was a lot longer than I wanted it to take. Nathan, do I play video games? What's my favorite? So I don't really play video games. I mean, I play like a chess on my phone or something like that, and then I have an older video game that I do frequent back to, which is the Day of Defeat Source, which is I guess it's a Counter-Strike mod of some sort, but that one, I've been playing that game since 2006 or so. And so off and on, I'll get on it occasionally. I don't know why I'm taking these screws out. We're going to measure. Day of Defeat, yeah, but it's the Source version, which was like, came out in 2010, or I guess it came out in 2006, but we had a mount that was broken here. But that's the one that I kind of frequent. All right, so here's I'm going to flip this around. Well, I'm trying to think of a good way of doing this. There we go. All right, so here's going to be where all of our power circuitry is. So this is like when the power comes in through the DC jack, you can see that the DC jack actually routes around and comes over here. So we have our main power rails produced here. Which is on this machine is going to be, thanks Gary for the subscription, it's going to be the 20 volt power rail. It's going to power everything, and then it's going to, the power management chip is going to control these MOSFETs, and it's going to do battery voltage, and then we're going to have a 3 volt and 5 volt. So we'll get under the microscope, we're going to take a closer look at that. So what I want to see first is that if we do have a short on the main power rail, what is the shorted value, right? So because supposedly when we plug in the charger, it shorts out the charger. We need to figure out if there is the short on the main power rail. So I'm going to put our meter in continuity mode where it beeps when you touch it together, and my meter is not working. Let me reboot it. So up there in the corner, you should be able to see the meter working, and it's not. So let me see if I can restart this app here. Is it working now? Yay, okay, we got something. It's alive, it's alive! Okay, so we're gonna put it in continuity mode where it beeps. We're just trying to figure out if we do have a short. So again, if we measure straight out of the DC jack here, these are gonna be the positive 20 volts coming from the charger, these lines right here. And I don't want to plug my charger in, so I'm just gonna measure here. We don't have a short. It's gonna go through these inductors. We don't have a short there. It's going to go into this MOSFET here. We don't have a short here. Output of this MOSFET, we don't have a short there. Okay. Output of this MOSFET goes into this current sense resistor, but we do have a short on the output of this MOSFET. Okay. So what these two MOSFETs are doing is they're acting as a protection for the motherboard. So if everything's A-OK, then it will allow the voltage to flow through these and energize the main power rail. But we do have a power management chip that's controlling these and making sure that everything's good. On this particular machine, there's 4 of these. You only see 2 here. There's going to be one on the other side that's paired with this one. It's going to be in parallel, and then one on the other side that's paired with this one. Most of the time when we do have a fault here, and it's shorting out the charger, we probably have one of these is shorted right here. Yep. And if we measure this one's actually shorted like a wire. I could basically put a wire straight across here, and that's what this thing is acting as, or it's the other one on the other side. So that's why our protection circuit's no longer working, because this MOSFET shorted out also. So we have 2 faults. You guys seen me fix this exact same issue before, but we don't know what the short is over here that actually caused this to go out. So let's take a measurement here and figure out what the ohms rating is. And we are at 0.75 ohms. Okay, so 0.75 ohms, that's less than 1 ohm, right? But it's not super high, and it's not all the way at 0. Okay, so the last repair we just did, what are we fixing today? Thanks, Prime. Thanks for the Prime membership. The last repair we just did actually had a shorted capacitor that shorted as a wire, so it's close to 0. But what we're measuring here, whatever's shorted, is not measuring as a wire. It's not measuring as shorted all the way. It's measuring at 0.7. And unfortunately, most of the time, and James has already called it out in the chat, most of the time, and we got JFix is calling it out too. Who else can call it out? Yep. So we have a consensus here. It's the GPU. So it doesn't mean the GPU is bad at this point, because I've seen this actually, the GPU survive this type of situation on this machine. But the gist is the GPU has these power stages. There's these MOSFETs that are powered by the 20 volts, and then it will reduce it down to a 0.7 or whatever it is that the GPU is going to need. And if one of those gets shorted, it gets shorted like a wire and shorts the actual charger voltage straight through the GPU and kills it. So, but based on what we're measuring right now, we probably have a GPU issue. We're going to have to pull the whole motherboard out, and then we can continue testing. So I will start doing that, and you guys just keep on chatting along. Oh, James is JFix. That's funny. James is JFix. You silly. You're so silly. You see a burnt spot? Gary, where do you see that burnt spot? Should we go thermal right now without having to take this whole thing out and see if we see anything? Go thermal. Insert teardown music. Dun, 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 dun. I'm actually not a fan of montages. I just like putting music on and fast forwarding stuff, but I guess some people like that. Here, I'll do it. I'll do all the music. I can beatbox too. You want me to beatbox? No, I'm not going to do it. That'll embarrass myself. Can't do it. But there is a lot of screws, so we're going to just kind of keep trucking along, taking these screws out. But most of them were on that center frame or middle frame. Yeah, we might save this one for Black Horse. Maybe we'll send it over to Black Horse and let him take care of it. I could send him 2 boards. I'll send him one that doesn't have a burnt GPU. He loves to pull these things off, so pull the GPUs off. I'm not a fan of doing that. Well, I've never done it, and I don't. It's just whether I don't have all the equipment. I'm starting to gather some equipment, but we will see. But I can tell you right now, we can probably get this thing up and running as is, even if the GPU is dead, and just get it running without the GPU and just let it run as a, Intel integrated system. We could do that. I'm missing a screw. Where you at, screw? I could feel it right here. Oh, you know what I'm missing? This is the notorious problem that people have. You got to remember to unplug all these ribbon cables here or you rip the screen connector off. I've been telling this story since the beginning of time, and I almost forgot it myself. Okay, so here's the LCD ribbon cable. It needs to be disconnected. There's a little latch, and we'll pull it off. Okay, and then this is the power button cable, and this thing always gets ruined. So I'm going to try to lift up this latch without breaking it, and just pull this out gently. Okay. And then this is the Tron light that lights up the alien head. Okay, so now we get all that up. You thought you saw a burnt spot. Where is it at? Under the transistor, kinda. Okay, well, once I get the board out, we'll do that physical inspection to figure that out. Ah, there's my missing screw. The L secret screw. There's always a secret screw. Okay. And come on. And the motherboard is out. All right, let's look around real quick. I think they said that they see something, a burnt spot or so. So let's see if we see a burnt spot. So in this area, I mean, sometimes you'll see something warm. What are we talking about, Gary? Anybody can see it? I don't see anything here, so I'm going to keep looking around. We can just do our physical inspection, but I think that we should be jumping straight to the GPU just because that's generally what's going to be happening here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this heatsink off so we can get in here. And the reason why we had to pull the whole motherboard out to pull the heatsink off is because they plug the fans in on the other side of the board. It is perfect engineering whenever you plug fans in on one side, but have full access to take the heatsink off on the other side. Yeah, Black Horse, he's in the Sunday stream usually, because he's over there overseas, right? Gary had too much bourbon. That's, yeah. Whew. You know, whenever I opened this box with honey that was sent to me from one of my subscribers, I opened it and I thought it was a bottle of bourbon. I was very excited. But I'm excited about this, the Dominican honey. I'm going to try this out still. But I really thought someone sent me a bottle of bourbon. Let's see, what am I drinking right now? I'm drinking what was it called? Now I'm blanking on it. Okay, we got this heatsink off. Thermal paste, looks like it has been changed. It should be more of kind of a sheet. So I think this is not factory. Black Horse is in Germany. Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, I thought he was across the pond at least. So I'm drinking Sagemore it's a double oaked Sagemore. So that's what I have right now at home. Summer Mood Coffee right here. There it is. This is my local coffee place. Okay, so the reason why we were talking about we think it's the GPU, I want you, what? Hold on, guys. Beep, beep, beep. I don't know if y'all see this. This is crazy. I think we have more problems, and I think that this board is done. I think we might be moving on to the next one right now. But I don't know if you can tell from a distance. I'm going to zoom you in a second, but this is, just from where I'm looking, this looks pretty effed up. Here we go. Going down. Donut. Donut. You tell me when you see something. I'm going to get this nice and centered here. Donut. 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 You really can't see it that well, but maybe you can. I mean, this is the GPU on this side. This is the CPU. The GPU is what we were saying was bad without us even opening this, but now I'm saying the CPU is bad. Look at these coils. Look how burnt those look. We got something really messed up going on over here, and maybe it's a combination of things. My favorite type of problem. It's a combination of things, of course. I had a technician, this was years ago, probably 10, 12, 15 years ago. Every single repair was a combination of things. It had a bad motherboard and a CPU. It had a bad screen and a bad motherboard. I was like, How can it, what are you talking about? How can everything be a combination of things? Um, okay, so yeah, we definitely have some problems here. This is the CPU coils, and so what we were talking about, or what I was about to discuss, is our power stages. This here CPU is powered by 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe. Those power stages are together. This one's separate, but they're all working to power the CPU. Just some are in parallel and some aren't. And then we have this little guy. They're all hooked up there, but these are the ones that actually always get overheated. Usually these two. Buffering, okay. Buffering, I see that we lost a little bit of frames, but it has stopped, so maybe it was just for a second. John, welcome to the live stream. So this guy right here definitely looks messed up. I think the buffering should be fine because it stopped already, but I think it was just for a second. But thanks for letting me know. So this one definitely looks burnt. And then this is the coils for our GPU, and we measured 0.7, and a lot of times the GPU will measure between 0.3 and 0.7. The CPU will usually measure on this machine around 2 ohms to 4 ohms, depending upon what it is. So right here, so we're about to measure. Yeah, Dave, I'm going to get some new internet soon. Remember, I'm only running on a gig by 50 upload. I only have a 50 upload. And so I have gig by gig coming in, or 2 gig by 2 gig coming in soon. They just wired my building, so I have to work on that. Let's start out by just measuring our GPU. I just want to see what this coil is measuring at. Oh, 0.3. You see that? I'm going to turn the beeping off. We don't need the beeping. Where we're going, we don't need beeping. All right, so this is measuring at 0.3. So we originally, everybody in the chat, we had a consensus. It wasn't just me, said it was the GPU. Our scenario has changed. We have 0.3, and we are measuring 0.7, right? So if we measure on our main power rail here, we have a short that's at 0.7. So we have eliminated the GPU as being an issue. So now let's measure LCPU. The CPU is measuring 0.7, which is no bueno, which is a no bueno situation. And based on the condition here, I mean, we could just have like, oh, you see a solder ball? I see a solder ball. Let me get down in here. Get in there. Look at that. There's a solder ball coming out of this MOSFET right here. Into this one that's all crazy. Look what color that is. So, I mean, we can replace this, and maybe this will start working. I don't know. The thing, because it is actually 0.7 now, then maybe we have just a short in the MOSFET going to ground instead of going through the CPU. We're gonna do thermal camera and an injection in a second, but I like to kind of do the suspense. Footlong, thank you for sub. For 6 months. Wow. Tier 1, thank you. So let's go thermal and let's inject some voltage. Let me get that set up. Yeah, who called it? John, you called it? John knew everything. Yeah, 0.7 was kind of a weird number to have a short on the CPU, so that's why I didn't go. But I've seen this model and I've had this coil cooked so many times on this exact model, so I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. So we're going to inject 1.5 volts straight through the CPU. Just kidding. Godfrey, welcome. We're going to start, what, 0.7 ohms. We could probably do, the closer it is to 0, the higher, the less voltage we want to put, but 0.7 we could probably do like 0.8 volts. Okay. So we're going to do that, and we're going to go thermal. Go thermal. Ooh, look, it's already hot. Now, these are reflections. So, okay, that's a good spot where you can see where there's no reflection. And I'm just going to inject on that shorted power rail, which is way over and near the input. And the CPU is getting hot. So it's passing through one of these as a wire. It's passing through one of these as a wire, and it's going straight into the CPU to ground. So we're going to use our trick where we bypass the CPU as a reference to the negative, and that way we can figure out which MOSFET's shorted, but I'm sure 100% that one's shorted right there. 1,000%, 1 million billion %. We know that that's shorted, but I'm going to inject, and now we're going to lower this down because it's going to be close to 0. So I'm going to just place this on the back side of one of these. I don't really care. So now instead of it going through the CPU to get the ground, or get back to this negative, I'm just going to put it here, and it means it's going to come to the main power rail and then come touch this somehow, somewhere, some way. Let me hold this with this hand. Okay, get ready. 3, 2, 1. I guess I need more current. Yeah, so it is that one that we were talking about. Right? Yes. Do it one more time. So the gist of what's happening here is that these are actually supposed to be isolated from here, okay? So only when they're on, they're taking the 20 volts on this side. So let's just say that we have 20 volts right here, or 20 volts is on here. And then this is going to be pulsing. These are like these MOSFET packages, multiple MOSFETs, a driver, and they pulse, boom, 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 and then that reduces voltage down to run this. But right now, this thing is not pulsing. It's just shorted like a wire, and it's sending the 20 volts straight through it. And so what we did is just kind of shorted across it, and then we found that this is the one that's bad. So we're going to put a, how do we do it? A sad face on it? Is that the trick? Right? Sad face. Like that. Right? And there you go. We figured it out. So we'll pull that off. I mean, this CPU is toast. I don't really... Because the thing is that this CPU should not be measuring 0.7. So if this is shorted, we should be measuring a regular voltage or a regular ohms rating on here. But the fact is, I think that it's probably done. But we're going to take that off and then we'll measure again. So I'm going to keep using this stuff because I'm committed for my whole week. I cannot break my streak. So this is right here. I'm using the NF Flux from Northridge Fix. And we are trying 1 week's worth of every single job using it. It looks nice and clear. I've saturated it, and we're just going to try to take that thing off. It's probably welded of some sort. Let's heat it up. I'm going to go 450, 60% air. Say no to NF Flux. No, next time I will not be using it probably because I've already used it up. But look, see how I usually just put flux on one side. I usually just put it on these two corners. Like I'd put it here, and that's it. And then I blow it, and then it usually will go all the way around the whole chip. But look, it's blowing away. I don't really understand. Why haven't I got flux on this other side yet? It just went away. It almost turned the water. It's gone. All my flux is gone already. All right, here, I'm going to compare. We're going to go back to my 213. 213 is what I use usually. I bought this from Northridge Fix also. So I'm going to put a line right here, and I'm going to put a line right here. Now watch this. See how it wrapped all the way around it? And so now it's actually under and around the chip. It stayed on the chip, and I could go like this and just rock it around, and you can actually see it going in a circle around it. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with this other stuff. It just keeps blowing away. But this board's really hot. It takes a while to heat up, so we're just going to let it do its thing here. You guys are full of jokes. So funny. Oh, gosh. What the flux? Yeah, this is going to take forever to heat up. It's probably like the purpose of making as much money as possible. It could be. I mean, he's a business guy. I'm a business guy too. I actually, I have to make money. I have to pay a bunch of employees. But I don't know. I mean, if he actually tested it and says the best is the best, that's my only complaint about it right now, is that I don't feel like it is the best. Oh, look at this. Those are heating up now. So you see these pins are actually starting to melt. And once we get them all the way melted all the way around, we can grab it off of there. Flux is mixed with bourbon, only when it caramelizes. Okay, it's almost hot enough. Almost. Coming. There it is. Okay, we got it off. So here's our sad chip. It's very sad. You know what this is? Is it a 3035? I think it is. So our short should be gone off the main power rail now. Let's see. Ouch, just burnt myself. Here's our main power rail. I'm just gonna measure and see if it's gone. And we got, our short is gone. All right, so we can actually plug in our power supply now and try to turn it on without that power stage there. We could, but I'm not gonna do that. But what I do wanna measure is I wanna figure out what this is measuring at now. So now that we have that MOSFET taken off, most likely this is probably gonna be just toast, but we'll see. So what is this measuring now with it off of there? It's saying 0. That doesn't seem right. That seems wrong, actually. Okay, 0.02. That seems very wrong. Does that mean that the CPU is at 0? 0.05? Wow. That's impressive. Maybe the board's hot? Wait for it to cool down a little bit. 0.13? Yeah, I guess it's going up a little bit, but still, it's shorted. So this CPU is completely shorted internally. So once we took this off of here, it relieved the short through our main power rail, but unfortunately the CPU itself is shorted. So all of these are functioning fine. They're isolating the main power rail, but it's shorted. So this is a no fix, unfortunately. Now this would be kind of interesting, and maybe I will reach out to Black Horse and see if we can. I have tons of these boards, tons, stacks of them, and I have lots of them that have bad GPUs or bad CPUs. So maybe we can do a little mixer and send it over there and have him maybe change out a CPU. But this right here, we're gonna. Flux killed it. No, don't. No, that's funny. That'd be funny. 8-bit Repair wants me to do a CPU swap. Yeah, I'm saying if I send it over to Black Horse, I'll let him do the CPU swap. I'm not going to do it. I actually bought a stencil for this, so I do have a stencil for it now. And I have some equipment that I was going to experiment with. I just haven't done it, and I haven't spent any time doing that. Oh yeah, you ready? I couldn't save this laptop! So we have to move on, unfortunately. And that's a sad day. It's a sad day for this guy. So I'll have to figure out, this is a motherboard replacement, or if we can get him to change out that sweet CPU for us. But I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. These boards, or you can buy these whole machines for like $250 or $200. I mean, it's, you know, these things are on the edge of like, is it even worth doing a board repair? You know, because it's like, yeah. But these motherboards are hard to find and they're expensive. But you can buy whole machines is kind of like the route that you have to go a lot of times to get the parts. So that's kind of the caveat there. So we're working on that. All right, last one. We're already on number 3. So I know which the next one's going to be, right? This one is a... You can update, there you go. So we updated the label there. This is a M15 R4 with a power rail failure. Let me turn off all this stuff here. Let me clean up my mess. Oh, screws. Got to get rid of these screws. Nathan is a laptop repair machine. Yeah, I know. I fixed 4 laptops right before this. So, but I'm actually all caught up now, which is nice because I was feeling like a little bit behind, and so now I'm actually feeling pretty caught up. So it's nice to feel that way. 3 of them were the same laptop repair. So, an Area 54. No, not an Area 54. Okay. New day, new laptop to repair, and this time we have an Alienware M15 R4. This is an interesting one because the customer sent it in because it's giving some sort of light code. It's like a 3.5 error, which is probably pointing towards a bad power rail. So I haven't taken a look at this yet. Let's take a look together and see if we can get this figured out. This is going to be the Intel version. Oh yeah, we'll do this note. There you go. Make sure there's no personal information. This is a subscriber, it looks like. He says he loves, or he came across my YouTube videos here. So, laptop suddenly shut off while running DaVinci Resolve without warning. Power button light, you're getting a 3.5 power rail failure. He unplugged the battery and pulled the NVMe out. So, and he's using a different render machine. So I guess he renders videos. Another shorted MOSFET, of course. No, what do you think a power rail failure could be? On this one, it's not gonna be the main power rail. It's gonna be a lower power rail of some sort. But we can take a look at that. So we have our power meter here. So take a look at that. We're gonna plug it in, and we're gonna see what it does right when we plug it in. 0.04, 0.02. So it's actually sitting at a perfect current draw. When you have 0.02, we have the LDO, which is a low dropout linear voltage regulator, is powering the EC chip. EC chip is what's in charge of powering on the laptop, paying attention to key presses like the power button, the keyboard, things like that. And so I'm going to open this up. We've got a couple notes here. Hold down power button for 5 seconds, 1 minute, 3.5 power code, unplug and so the same notes that he had in his repair. We don't need those. So we opened the lid, nothing happened. The EC chip should be paying attention to that. And I just pressed the power button. We are getting a current draw, but you see what the current draw is? It went from 0.13 to 0.29. Now we should be getting over an amp at this point. It should jump up to like 1.2 amps or something like that, then drop down to almost 0 and then go back up again and kind of go through a whole startup process. And are we already getting a light code? No. So 0.29 again, it went down and now it's coming back up. I just want to see if we get that 3.5 error code. We're just going to let it sit there. We're just going to wait for this code. So a 3.5 power rail usually means that we might have, I've seen like the NVMe or the SSD power rail become missing, or we have the RAM power supply become missing. The 3 and a 5 most likely is not going to be the issue because then the machine wouldn't even come on. So it could be a few different things. Arby's, thanks for the follow, bud. How often laptop CPUs are often not socketed? Not anymore. Not anymore. Like pretty much not a single one is socketed anymore. It's funny because I still stock a bunch of parts for the older machines that are socketed, so I have tons of those CPUs still, but it's not very often. Just curious, when the crop top merch coming off? Crop top merch coming off. I don't know. I don't know. You want me to give you some crop tops inside of my merch? I think there was a tank top put in there, did I? Okay, we do have a light. Okay, 1 red, 2 red, 3 red. 1 blue, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we got it. So we have our 3.5. PP crop top. Yeah, I could do that if you want. We could crop top it all day long. Did anyone go buy that shirt that I just made today? I'm just interested to know if anybody was actually interested enough to buy that thing. I'm going to order one later tonight so I can wear it on the stream. I think it's pretty funny. That new liquid metal shirt. Okay, I'm taking the bottom off. We have our power rail failure. This one has upgradable RAM. The CPU is built on, the GPU is built on, and is DDR4. And what else does it have? All right. The bottom is off. Quick look around. We have the main battery. This is a Dell genuine OEM. I can tell it has a serial number here. Like you said, the NVMEs are taken out. The Wi-Fi card's built on the board. This one does have integrated RAM and GPU and CPU. I thought it had the upgradable RAM in my brain because I thought that this was a different model in my head for a second, so I am going crazy. Usually this machine, when I'm working on it, is white, not black, so it kind of threw me for a loop for a second. So RAM is soldered, yes. And so 3.5 on this machine, free shirt with repair. Yeah, that could be an idea. Shirts are expensive though. It's crazy. It's like $26. I mean, that's like, so, I mean, I guess I can inflate the price, I guess, or build it into the price. Because right now I already pay for return shipping. So that cost me $25 to $30 just to return the laptop back to people, and I pay for that. So I'm already losing on that portion. And then I get a year warranty on all my repairs, parts and labor warranty, which I don't even get a year warranty on the parts that I'm buying. But let's see. Come on, get the bottom taken off here. It's going to take longer to take this back off than it is to repair the whole machine. Discount the shirt, maybe? Yeah, so I think I make $3 on those shirts, so it's not even like a big profit margin there. Everything costs so much these days. But yeah, discount on the shirt would be good. Yeah, if I just had some sort of way of giving people discounts on them. I hate ripping these things. What time is it, dude? We're only an hour and 25 in and we're on the last machine? That's crazy. Secret screw? No, it was a secret clip. Okay, got this off. Okay, so now that I have this off, we can do our quick measurements. I mean, there's really nothing to measure without kind of, most of the stuff's on the other side of the board on this machine, but we do want to see if we have our main power rail, which we should because the machine's coming on, but we can take a quick look around. We can also do thermal camera because if we have that 0.29, it could be the CPU trying to come on, but it could be something else that's trying to come on and it's shorted out, so we could go thermal on that. Cost for shirts is unreal. Even the quantity, yeah, quantity, you can be like $15 before printing, exactly. Yeah, so these are print on demand, so they do cost a little bit more. If I did probably where I had like there's a local t-shirt shop that can do them here, but I have to buy them. I don't know what their cost is, but yeah, I think the cost of the shirt is 21 something, and I think I'm selling for $24.99 or something like that. So it's not like, I'm not getting rich off these shirts. It's more just kind of for fun to have people be able to kind of share in the, you know, wearing the shirts too. And there's no real commitment for me because I can just create the shirt and put it up there. I'm going to go over this board-to-board interposer thing again. So in this machine, we have a daughter board connected over here and a daughter board connected over here. This one actually has a board-to-board connector that gets broken a lot. And so I just want people to be aware of this issue or how sensitive these things are. So I've already unplugged it. So this thing is like a little ribbon cable that this little ribbon cable that connects these two boards together. If we flip it over, it has a bunch of these little tiny pins that can get bent very easily. And, oh, thanks for the super chat, Gary. Appreciate it. They get bent very easily, and so we need to make sure we are careful with this. So I always separately bag this and put it away. So that's why I want you to be aware of, because there's been plenty of times that I've had a repair that somebody worked on this exact machine and broke this. And these things are like $50 or something nuts, because like Dell is super stingy with them. So I have a bag of little Ziploc bags, and that's what I put it in when I put it in their bin. So safe. Okay, so back to, actually we'll just keep this up because we're going to measure the voltage going in. So here's where our DC jack is. We're going to plug in our charger and I'm going to start measuring. So we're going to be in voltage mode here. And the voltage is going to be coming in through this side. We got 20 volts coming in here. And where does it go again? I think it goes to the other side of the board, actually. It does. So, but this inductor right here should probably be energized. It is. And then these MOSFETs right here are part of the charging circuit, but we can measure here anyway. So we have 20 volts there, 20 volts there, and then this is on the battery charge circuit. So we're not going to have anything there. It's not a big deal. This is the power management chip. This is what's actually controlling all these MOSFETs and charging the battery and protecting things. All of that seems to be working. So where is the short? I'm going to go thermal. Let's go thermal, guys. Go thermal. So the machine's not on right now, and our thermal camera's not on either. What happened? I don't know what happened here. I'll have to resync this. This shut off. All right, well, so while that's booting back up, we need to hit the power button. There's a power button on this side of the board, like right there, but I have the lid closed, so I can't actually press the button. So we'll have to try that again. Okay, thermal's up and running. I'm going to open the lid and try to press the power button, and we'll have to prop it open. Okay, it's on. Let's see if we get anything hot that's in a weird spot. So reflections. This here, that's the EC chip. This here, that was getting warm. This is going to be the LDO. But I don't see any. I mean, we don't. I mean, 140 milliamps is not very much, but I guess it is going up to. Well, it was going up to 280, wasn't it, or 240 milliamps? See, all these things are reflections. That's what I hate about this camera, is it does pick up reflections. Maybe turn off this light. Did it help? No, it didn't help. It just got rid of the detail. But I guess I could see this part of the board is a little bit warm, but yeah. So I'm going to take the whole board out all the way. This is a Flare 1 Pro. It's connected to the bottom here. This is the Flare 1 Pro. It's the one that has two cameras on it. So it has the regular camera that can actually see the board, and then it has the infrared camera and then overlays them. Which, that's what I like about it, is it has that double. I tried the P2 Pro or whatever it is, but it was too wide of an angle, and I like to mount it underneath my microscope, and so that one wasn't working out for me, and so I returned it. But I think I might, the P3 has that zoom and a focus, so I think that one would probably be a better bet. So I might try that one. Seek has better software. Like, I have the Thermal Seek, the older one, wherever it is. I don't know where it is. I put a macro lens on it too. Northridge Fix charges $175 for Series X port changes out. That's ridiculous. Whoa, 175 bucks. Does that include shipping? You got a shirt, but it violated. Whoa, you guys! Someone just gifted a bunch of subs. How many subs did you just give? 25? Foot long. Thank you so much for the gift of subs. Everyone is very happy about that. That's awesome. That was very generous of you. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. Yeah, 25 subs. That's big. That's huge. You just doubled my sub count almost. Yeah, I got 62 subs now. Super generous. I'm just taking this board out so we can pull the heatsink, and then we will go thermal again. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to find the issue with the thermal camera on this, but if not, we're going to have to do the old poke and probe. Poke and probe. There's been some machines where I haven't been able to find a shorted or a reason why we have an issue, and so all we do, all I end up doing is going around and actually measuring every single, I'm talking about every single one, every single ceramic capacitor on the board, and measure it to ground and figure out if we have a shorted one. And sometimes you'll have these little power rail that really doesn't do anything that's noticeable on the startup, but it's shorted. And so you can't really see it getting hot, and so it's very hard to identify that you have a shorted rail because it's not just like one of the main power rails. So 25 foot long subs, yeah. Man, foot long came through. That's awesome. And now you guys don't have to listen to commercials that Twitch automatically enables. It's crazy. All right, and the motherboard, almost. We're not going to break a latch today. These latches always get broken by the people, and I've never broken one, luckily, but this one, the cable gets messed up. Okay, got that out. There we go. And the motherboard is out. All right, so we have the motherboard out. And this is another one of these models that most of the underside here is, oh, I just realized that my camera got turned down for the brightness. Sorry about that. Most of the underside is the heatsink. It's cooling everything. So we're going to pull the heatsink off too so we can take a look and see what's actually getting hot. You sucked at electrical engineering in college. Well, I didn't go to college. Boom. I did some ITT Tech, which is a technical college, but I did not get a real degree. I have a good enough degree from not graduating from high school too. So all I do is you just learn by doing. How do you gift subs? I think there's a button, but I would assume that Footlong would tell you. Or at least that's the professor told you. Are you really? The professor told you that? Oh my gosh. Oh. You did ITT in 1993? I went in 97 to 99. It was before they filed for bankruptcy for fraud, for defrauding all their people, right? So, all right, so here's the motherboard. This is just another daughter board. This has another interposer or board-to-board connector underneath here, but it's going to be one that's sandwiched. You still got to be careful with these because they do cost a lot of money to replace those, and they are super rare. But I do have test components for this, so we can actually just plug in our DC jack this way on the bench. And I think I have a power button here too. Where's my power button? Here it is. So I work on this model enough to have the parts just sitting here on my bench. All right. So what I want to do is we're going to look at this, how it's powering on under the thermal camera, because we should see, right when I press the power button, we should see a heat spike here and a heat spike here on both of these components, which is the CPU and the chipset. And then it should turn off immediately. And then it should come back on. And then we're going to start having all of these coils heating up here, and we'll have the GPU heat up a little bit with both of these on. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking for our heat signature for this thing to power up. If we're not getting that, then we know that it's missing something else, and then we can actually measure, you know, or maybe we'll see a heat spike somewhere. I don't know. So, going thermal. So here's our motherboard. Got it centered right there. And, okay, so nothing's hot, nothing's on yet. This is a reflection up here, so ignore that. So everything you're seeing right now is a reflection, so I want you to ignore it, okay? Just mark it down in your memory that's ignored. So nothing's on yet. I'm about to press the power button right now. You can look at the power meter. You'll see it actually start pulling some current. 3, 2, 1. I pressed the power button. Let me try it again. Okay. Nothing's happening. I'm pressing it, nothing's happening. Let me make sure I have my power button plugged in all the way. Oh, it's plugged in all the way. Unless I broke my cable. Interesting. Try it again. There's a power button on the board we can use too, so I'm just Still a reflection here. That's nothing. Okay. So that power button's not working. We're just going to use the power button that's on the board next to the EC chip. So here's our EC chip, and then that's the power button. So I'm going to press that instead. That. Oh, our meter's covered up. Okay, so we are pulling current now, and we're not on a thermal camera. Okay, so CPU's coming on right on the edge. That's not good. And it's back off. CPU's on the edge. I don't like the way that looks. And it's back off. I don't think the CPU is shorted, by the way, but it does look very suspicious that it's coming on right there on the edge. Yeah, you can see right on the corner it's coming on. I'm going to measure the 3-volt and 5-volt power rails and see if they're present. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to put it in this view, and we'll put the thermal camera in that corner. Let's see. No, that's not working. Oh, it's this view. Okay, there we go. I don't have the chat on there. I'm just trying to do it where we can see both at the same time. So we're measuring our 5 volts. Is it there? 5 volts there, and then 3.3, 3.4. So we have both our 5 volt and our 3 volt power rails. So both of those are present. So what are we missing? I don't know at this particular moment, but we're going to measure around. We do have our 1 volt here. This is going to be for our chipset. And we kind of knew our chipset was on because our chipset did get warm, right? CPU's still on here. It's not really that hot. Like when I'm touching it, it's barely hot. But the chipset, I don't even know if it is on. I mean, we have our 1 volt, but the chipset's not really doing anything. We have heat here. Alcohol it and probe it directly. Well, it's not hot enough. That's the thing. We would see, if we were going to alcohol something, we would have to have something that's a really big heat spike. I'm assuming the CPU is taking most of what this 170 milliamps is. So we got that one missing. I mean, that one's there, one volt, and then let's measure this one. 1.8 is there. This one, 0.07, 007. I don't know what that one is. I'm not sure what that one's supposed to be. And then we'll measure the CPU. The CPU is probably not there, even though it's heating up. I bet it's just a startup coil, one of these startup coils. Okay, 1.1 is there. Huh. All right, we're going to have to measure around and just see if we can find a shorted power rail at this point, because I'm not seeing anything heating up. I was thinking it was going to be something fairly obvious, but it's not. Anybody else have a suggestion real quick before I just start probing? Because we're just going to have to look around for some... Oh, we'll do a physical inspection. That's a good suggestion, right? The BIOS could be bad, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Could be. I mean, it's giving the power rail failure, though. I guess I have seen a power rail failure and a BIOS being at the same time. I'm not... it's not very common, though. Do you ever use Flux Vapor Gadget? I did buy that thing from Northridge Fix. Never used it one time. Never even tried it out. I just don't know if I need it. The thing is, I mean, it's like you're trying to isolate what is doing or what's actually getting hot, and then alcohol works just fine. Let's just do our physical inspection around the board, because I'm sure we're going to see something now, right? We'll start on this little daughter board, and tell me if I'm going too fast. Let me raise this up a little bit. Try to get this focused good, because I need you guys to be my eyes. Okay. All right, so we're going to look around here. So I want you to look for cracked capacitors. Remember, we saw a couple of those already. Sometimes discoloration We want to see things knocked off the board, but I don't think anybody's been in here, so I can't really say that that's probably going to be an issue. There's our EC chip we were talking about. I don't think we have an EC chip issue because it is coming on. I have seen misprogrammed EC chips with the same error, but that's unlikely that we're having that. This is going to be the chip that handles our 3-volt and 5-volt power rails, which that is actually present. That's our power management chip. That's been in charge of charging the battery. This stuff right here is just a little gunk. This is like stickiness, so don't worry about that. And mods, if I'm not reading the chat and they're mentioning something that I need to, pay attention to, pop it up on the screen for me. What's that guy? Why are you so crooked? Man, they wanted that little diode's a little feng shui, huh? They're like, we want everybody else in a line except for you. You will be feng shui. All right, so enough of that. I think I need to focus this. One of my eyepieces are out of focus here. There we go, that's much better. What about this one? There we go. We'll keep looking around. I don't see anything yet. I have a feeling we're not going to see anything. You want me to straighten it out? Yeah, we'll straighten it out. Well, you have to remind me because I'm not going to do it right this second. Those are one of those types of things where I'm like, yeah, I'll do it later, and then I forget because I fixed the board. Because I usually only do those weird things that aren't even worth my time. What's up with that? Look at that. You know, that's a fuse for the LCD screen, but does it look like it's been changed out before? I don't know. Or measured at least. Should we check it? I've only had a couple fuses ever in my whole career be bad, but we will check right now. That's good. There's going to be another one right here, and that one looks fine, so that's a normal one. And that was fine. But that was a little sussy, right? Cecil. We'll probably need to take this little cover off. Let me take this cover off the back of this. There's the Tobii eye. That's eye tracking. And we will start measuring capacitors soon, but I just want to do our physical real quick. Well, good thing we saved the hard one for the last, right? This one's definitely going to be a lot harder. Looks sus. The diode was replaced. Yeah, or the... You think that diode was replaced or messed with? That's why it's crooked? This doesn't look like... This looks factory, though, this setup right here. But the fuse definitely looks like it's been messed with. All right, so nothing on that side. Let's flip it over. Nothing there. There's another fuse. This all right here is part of the muxing chip for the GPU, CPU, for the screen. Oh, that one's blown. Oh. I was going to say it was blown for a second. That would have been crazy. Yeah, close to 900 viewers right now. That's pretty good. Oh, I think we have 79 on Twitch. I think that's a record, actually. That's pretty good. We only started Twitch 5 streams ago or 6 streams ago, so that's pretty good for only doing 6 streams. So all these fuses are fine so far. This poly fuse is fine. This is all part of the LCD screen circuit. Let me take this cover off of here, off the GPU also, so we can look underneath it. Can we get 600 likes? That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Can it happen? Can it happen? Well, I can tell you right now, every single person watching right now could go hit the like button, and then boom, knocked it out. All right. What is this? I think that's just gooey, but it looks weird. Sus. also. This is sticky. This is flux right here. That's flux. That's flux. 100% flux. Why do we have flux here, guys? Why do we have flux here? Why do we have all of this here? Why do we have flux here? Why do we have flux here? Why do we have flux here? Here, 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 here. Why do we have flux there? Why is it there? Yeah, I'm thinking somebody did something here. Did y'all read that in the notes? Was that actually written in the notes? The notes were just saying he was playing DaVinci or using DaVinci Resolve and the thing shut off. He didn't say he sent it to another repair shop. I mean, it's been repasted, so we know that, but this is definitely flux all through here. I mean, whether there's leftover flux under the CPU and it came out or something, but it's weird because it's just kind of like on this one area. No, we got it all through here too. What? 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 Look at that. Flux, flux, flux. Flux, flux, flux. Flux, flux. All the way around here. All the way around here. Bro. Bro. All right, time to measure. Actually, I want to measure really badly, but I want to look around the rest of the board. So we're going to just put that in our pocket here. I'm assuming we have something going on with the GPU area just because we see that. This is the 3-volt and the 5-volt power rails here. Those were up and running. That's going to be our BIOS chip, is it? Yeah, that's our BIOS chip. It's a 127, 128, so 16 megs. Now every board in the entire warehouse is covered in NF flux, yes. Yes, what I do, right when I get them in, I squirt NF flux on them, the protector. So I think we made it all the way around the board. My consensus at this point is that this board's been worked on. And you know what happens when we have worked on boards? We have no idea what's going on. So that's the BIOS chip for the video card. Let's measure, I don't even know. Should we clean all this up though? All right, let's just go around and measure. Sus flow, sus flow. We need a sus. Do I have a sus emote? Because I don't know if I do. I'm about to like throw this whole thing in the old Sonic cleaner. No, I'll toothbrush it or something. But I'm going to go around and measure some capacitors. I just want to see what we have here. Chris is a new subscriber. Welcome, buddy. So I'm going to measure here. We have. I'm doing capacitors first. That's where we're going to start here. Robert, nice. That's a good one. So each one of these capacitors is going to have one side that's going to be tied to ground. And the other side should be not tied to ground. And so we don't want it to beep on this other side. So we're going to go around and find if we have a short somewhere that's not supposed to have a short. And we're not going to be able to know because we're not going to just inject voltage randomly. We're going to measure. So right now, no short, no short, no short, no short. Because you could have this is shorted on this side, but it's not shorted on that side. So that's what we're looking for. Every capacitor should have one side that's not shorted. So this is a kind of a long road, but this is how we find stuff. And we did find one. So we have 0.6 here, and we have 0.13 here, so this is the ground side. And so this right here, this coil is shorted to 0.5. And that's the most annoying sound in the world. So we will turn that off. So 0.5. Now, is it supposed to be a half of an ohm? I don't think so. I don't think so. But we can measure our GPU and see what that one is measuring, and that one's measuring 0.2. So it's not like it's coming off of there. So I think we have something tied to this coil that is shorted. So now we can inject voltage and we can go thermal. Use the 0.3 lens on the microscope. Here's my 90x zoom. But you want to go wider? Is that what you want to do? I have a 0.5 Barlow on here. So anyway, let's inject the voltage because I think it's what we're going to have to do next anyway. And so half of ohm, how many volts can we do for a half of ohm? Let's go with like 0.8, right around there. 0.7, yeah. 0.7. PCH glow up, okay. Is that what you're thinking? You're going for PCH, huh? This is the PCH right here. Wait, where is that? This is the PCH right here, which is the chipset. This is the PCH power supply, the 1 volt. This one, I can't remember what this goes to. So I don't know. I don't know what it goes to. No remembero. Thermal, going thermal. All right, here we go. So we're injecting 0.7 volts into a half of an ohm short. Okay, we saw a couple things get hot. I'm going to heat it up again. I want everyone to pay attention. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. You see where we're at? So I saw the area where I'm injecting is getting hot, but we also see this other area over here. Does everyone see it? Okay, one more time, and then we're going to go get in closer at it. So it's right over here. That's what we're looking at. So I'm going to center that in our shot here. And let's switch to, I could do the multi-view so we have it again. So it's going to be in this area somewhere. And I'm going to put alcohol on it, and that way we can actually figure out where it is exactly. So we're just going to douse this whole area in alcohol. And do it again. Okay. Did you see it? I see it. Just let me know if you see it. Flip side of the board. No, it's on the same side. I can actually see it doing it. But here, I'm gonna spray a bunch of alcohol on it. So it's covered in alcohol now. All right, and I'm gonna up the voltage because I think we can do that just a little bit. All right, here we go. Pay attention. 3, 2, 1. You see it? Giddy got it. Grady got it. Yep. Dragon Ball's got it. Premise got it. So it's this guy right here. So if you pay attention to it closely, you'll see that that's the one heating up. Now, most likely, because a lot of times I'll say it could be the chip itself or it could be the chip what it's powering. Now, I don't really know what this chip does. I don't know, and I don't care. But we will figure out if it's powering something on the output that's shorted or if it's the chip itself. Right? Because you see how the alcohol displaces off of it? So it's definitely getting hot. It's an EM5209. What is an EM5209? So that's just like a multi something. It's a U, so it's a U gate, right? So let's measure around it. I want to see what inputs are shorted, what outputs are shorted. So we have no short there. We have a short here, but it's not, so that's probably ground. What about this pin? That's not shorted. This pin? Not shorted, or it's at 20 ohms, which may be correct. And this is shorted then, right? Okay, so this right here is shorted. And so that power supply is shorted. Now if I put this on here, is it still that chip? because it could be going through that chip to something else. So I just want to make sure that we are on it. Yep, still that chip. So that's the chip we're changing. We're going to change that chip out. I'm pretty sure that's it. It's a dual channel, ultra low resistance load switch U-gate. Have we changed one of these out before? I feel like we've done one of these before. Not this exact chip here, but I feel like I've done one of these chips before. I don't know. So we're going to go do it. You know the routine. So we're going to be removing this chip first. We're going to prep the area, and then we'll go grab our donor board and we'll transfer it over. A couple things to pay attention to is we have a connector right here that we need to not melt. So let's not do that. This right here is actually a post, and it's going to be soldered on. And so they can come unsoldered, but I don't think that we're going to worry about it too much. So the main thing is just protect this connector here, and I think we'll be good. And this chip isn't too big, so it should come off pretty easily. So what flux should I use? You saw 2 hot spots. The other hot spot was the one that we saw off to the side, and that was where I was injecting voltage. And so I think that that's why it was getting hot. Oh, the tantalum, you want me to worry about that one too? Yeah, I can protect that too. So I have some pieces of foil here that we can actually just put across them if we want to do something like this. And then we can put some Kapton tape on it. I'll put it this way. It was the coil, yeah, the coil that I was injecting into was actually getting hot. And because I was going through it, and I could have injected on the other side. Here, I'm going to dry some of this up so I can get my tape on here. Grab some Kapton tape. So I got the good stuff. I got some 1 mil thick. This is the 2 mil thick. Uline is where I buy all these from. These are real deal Holyfields. So they are, this is like 80 bucks a roll for one of these. I'm very proud of it. But I have a Uline account that I don't know how much money we spend with Uline. Probably, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000 a month at Uline. Pretty easily, because we ship a lot of packages, so that's where we get all of our shipping supplies. So we're always buying stuff from Uline. Let me put a piece of foil here. There should be a certification for soldering. Yeah, maybe. So this is just trying to protect this connector. We definitely don't want to damage anything around here. In general, what I like to do is I blow the heat away anyway, so we're going to turn this board around, and we're going to blow the heat this direction. So we should be good there. Your company uses Uline also. So Darren, do you have a bunch of Uline swag and all that stuff? Because they give us those points, and then we get like free stuff. So we get tons of free stuff. So like I have a pair of Ray-Ban glasses. It's like my 3rd pair. They just keep giving us Ray-Ban glasses. We got Yeti stuff. We got all sorts of like, it's like that points club type of thing. Well, I think I can actually see the burn in this chip. Yeah, yeah. You see the burn? It's like up here. I think this is the burn right there. What do you think? Now, why did this chip burn out? Focus. I don't know. I don't know. Heat? Age? A pallet of sticky notes. That'd be funny. I got a whole pallet of sticky notes. Here, let me get a drink of water. You get a catalog, but you never use it. Okay, we are ready. I have my fuel. And I need my tweezers. Oh, y'all didn't tell me which one am I supposed to use? Which flux am I supposed to use? 213, 559, NF flux, or mystery AliExpress flux? Or I actually have I never use this one, but this is the MG Chemicals. NF Flux, we want to keep going with NF Flux? Emma just subscribed, thank you. Good, the good stuff. Amtech, okay, so I got Amtech 213 and Amtech 559 is the good stuff. No mystery AliExpress Flux. 213, 213 is what I like. MG, okay, 559. So I see 213s, 559. What did I get started? We didn't do a vote, and it makes it a little bit harder. Okay, I'll take it off with a, I guess everyone wants the Amtech, so we'll take it off with a 559 since we'll do that, and then I'll put it back on with a 213. And then Hipster wants us to do the 666, so maybe we'll do that. So here's 559. It's a little bit more milky. And it's still pretty clear though, right? 559 looks nice and clear. It's not as clear as the NF stuff, but it's no lotion. Ain't no lotion. All right, so we're gonna do 60%, wait, 450 degrees C, 60% air. I'm gonna preheat the area, but I'm gonna point away from this area because I don't want to damage any of our connectors, so I'm just gonna kind of preheat the board away from it. We do have the chipset over here we have to kind of deal with too. Hopefully this won't take that long to heat up. Just use super glue. Brake fluid. Almost there, almost there. Okay, oh, got it off and it blew away. It went away. Where did it go? I don't know. I don't know where it went to. There it is. Hello, guy. So here's our guy. We took it off. Let's measure that power rail, make sure that the short is gone. Short, 0.9 now. Wasn't it 0.5 before? 0.9 doesn't see that much better. Oh, K. 0.9 K. Whew. That's much better. I missed that for a second. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's K. That's a big difference, by the way, people. Because before it was 0.5 ohms, so like half of ohm. And now it's 0.9 K, which is like 900 ohms. So, muy bettero. Okay, so I'm going to prep the area. We'll put some fresh solder on here. I think, well, actually, we don't even need to. It looks fine. I'm happy with it. It looks good. So let's grab our donor board. The donor boards are this way. Which board do we have here? This is a 741K, a K741. So here's a stack. Can y'all see me? Here's a stack of donor boards here. Look at that. These are all the same board. Whole stack of them. So the way I do it is whenever I steal a component off of these aren't all bad or donor boards, but the way I do is that when I steal a component off of it, I put a red mark on the GPU or CPU just to say, hey, I've stolen some parts off of it. Don't even try to fix this board. This one right here is not marked. It says no display. And guess what? I actually figured out the solution to this now. So I know how to fix this issue. There's an issue on these boards that the crystal oscillator actually goes out, and I wasn't aware. So I will be able to fix that one. So let's grab our donor board, and we can steal that part. Dead Pixel, what are we talking about? Is there something I'm missing? A cat blew up. Dead Pixel says I need to look for something real quick, so we're going to sidebar real quick. So quick. Next to U17, one blew up. Which one blowed? You see anything? Oh, you said blew away. Sorry, blew away. I don't think so. Is that... There's one sideways, yeah, which is correct, I believe. Here, I'll put the donor board here for you. There's one that has a little feng shui, right? Looks good. No problem. I mean, no, I like it. Keeping the eye out, I love it. You know, I definitely make mistakes. So, oh yeah, we're pulling this chip off though. Where are we at? Where are you? Where are you? Where art thou? There you are. Okay, so this is our guy. I'm interested, I want to measure right here. I want to see what we're actually supposed to be measuring in this area. Probably a good idea, right? What were we measuring here? 0.9K. Hey, it matches. We love that when it matches, right? U17. What do we need? This is U17. That's what we're replacing. This is the untouched board. Yeah, this is our donor board we're about to steal the part from. Okay, I'm not even going to protect this stuff because I'm crazy, Nate. And so we used the 559 before to take it off. Now we're going to use the 213. So on the 213, I usually just put it on one side like that. Not even going to protect this. We'll see if we can get it off without actually messing with this at all. And then there's that tantalum. You see how the 213 just wrapped all the way around it? I love it. You see how I just put flux on one side and went boom all the way around it. You're my boy, 213. And so I'm just kind of blowing the air across here and not affecting that. And so, like, see how I didn't even mess with it at all? I'm just being extra, you know, careful with the customer's machine. So I definitely have the skills to not have to do all this extra bull BS, but, you know. All right, so we're ready to go. I'm gonna preheat this again. And then we will finish up. So once we tack it on there, we'll add some more flux to it. But I just need to get this heated up. Okay, it's starting to melt. Set it down for a second. Move away. It tacked itself there. I don't really care how straight it is. You remember how I talk about that, where we just tack it on there? And then we reflow it with some flux. So this is the 559 we just put on here. And 559 sticks around there just the way I like it too. And then once we heat this up, see how it just kind of jumped in place? And boom, it's at home. It just found its little home. Its happy little place. Happy little place. So, let's turn this off now. I'm going to let this cool off for just un momento. And take that off of there. Oh no, look at this. With all that confidence, I ended up melting that a little bit. Come on. I didn't even melt it on the other one and I didn't protect it. So do you think this aluminum made it worse? Aluminium? I've never actually used this to try to protect it. That's crazy. All right, guys, shoddy job alert, shoddy job. I'm really sorry. What's Bruce? Hey, Bruce. Sorry about that. I think the Sunday stream you should have a bunch of older laptops. Yeah. Did you see the preview of that older laptop? I'm thinking about doing a vintage whatever. I don't know. I haven't come up with a nice name for it yet, but some sort of like we're going to go through laptops inside my museum and just kind of see if we can get them working and mess with them. Vintage corner or something. I don't know. Someone come up with something for old laptops, but something catchy and I can, you know, because we had that new segment. I think I actually have some more for is it real or is it fake? That segment we did last week. I have more stuff to test you on. And so where we're testing and figuring out if the product is a genuine Dell part or if it's a fake knockoff that's supposed to look like a Dell part. So I have a couple of those items tonight. Retro repairs. Retro repairs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. But sometimes we're not going to be repairing it. We're just going to be looking at it. So I don't know if that will work completely. All right. Just trying to get all this off. I like it clean. Okay. So, there we go. Can I clean up real quick? I hate a dirty desk. I hate it. Post the ghost. Post the ghost. Let me plug in our... I wonder if this power button is going to work now. I used this power button earlier today, and I don't know why it wouldn't work on this machine. Okay, retro reboots. That's pretty cool. Here, I'm gonna bookmark this part of the stream. That way, I can kind of go back and look at it. But yeah, y'all put any of those names in there, and then I'm gonna go through it, and we'll probably come up with a name. And maybe next Sunday we'll do a segment of that. The chip was the chip number different? Thank you for checking. The amateur. I'm the amateur. I did not even look at the chip, but I did pull the exact same board number, so that's why sometimes the chip number will be different, but it's the exact same board number, but that is a good point. So we'll go back over here, and the chip number was different. The chip number was different, and so what we're going to do to solve our issue, because this isn't going to tell us anything mainly, right? Maybe it is here. Y'all look up those numbers on there. It's probably the same thing. It's just sometimes they name them weird. So y'all look that up. I'm going to pull the smoke test Sunday. I'm going to pull 3 more or 4 more of these boards that are the exact same board number, and then we're going to look at the chips, and there's probably going to be a mix of both. Okay? Yeah, it's JW10F is the top line, and the bottom line is 1QA0 Delta. So Juliet Whiskey 10 Foxtrot, and then 1 Quebec Alpha 0 Delta. Okay, and I'm going to pull some other boards. We're going to just compare. If we get a consensus of like half and half, then it's fine. As long as we're doing the exact same board part number, which is this, the LA K741. Okay, that's why I have a stack of them, which is helpful, and I appreciate each and every single one of you for doing this to me. And I love that we have the bell. The bell to get my attention. The Vintage Deli. That's interesting. I'm going to bookmark that too. Vote for, yeah, maybe we should come up, I could do a vote. That could be kind of cool. If we let the community tell me what the name is. Okay, so that's the board that or the chip we just put on there. Here's one more. This one is, we're gonna have to put the anti-glare light on, don't we? This is ridiculous. Let me see if I can just tilt this at an angle. Okay, so that's another board. So that same number, right? Or 0WA70. So that's the same number as the one we just put on there. Where are we at? Okay, there's an EM5200. So again, we're on the same board. These are all going to be these LA K741s. One thing we want to look at maybe is the GPUs matching or CPUs matching, something like that. This is another EM5200. Did you guys look that up and figure out if Google brings out nothing? It's probably only going to be the first set of numbers, not the full set. A lot of times it's just like one row that says it. Here's another one that's that one we switched out. There's another EM5200. Would you guys feel more confident if I just pulled an EM5200? Primary difference between is the EM5200 on chip. On chip resistor is quick for output discharge feature. Oh, interesting. So they probably used them interchangeably, I bet. So I think we're good, right? Or would you guys feel more confident if I switched them out with the actual one? I think it's equivalent, personally, because they're on these same boards. But again, this is all, oh, look at this. Here's another whole chip. There's another one that's all different, completely different, and that's the same board number right here. Here, look up that one. X139. I say it's fine, yeah. And one more. EM5200 or 5209. I keep saying 5200. You guys understand what I'm saying. And this one is the one that first one. So, okay, so I'm gonna go with it. I think it's fine. Hard time finding anything exactly on it. So, well, I think we're good. Since it's the same board. And we made sure it's the same board. Because last time when we had this issue, we didn't check it was the same board. Okay, let's do, we're gonna go thermal. I'm gonna power this thing on the desk. I want us to look at if we have our CPU and GPUs coming on, if we have the chipset coming on. Short check? Yeah, good point. You guys are keeping me honest. So we checked it once we took it off. We didn't check it once we put it on. So we'll check that now. And we have our 0.95, which is what we were getting on the other board. And we can come back over here and check here. And that's what we got. So that's looking good. Man, that's reflective. There we go. But EM5200 ID do that, but should give it somewhat an idea. 918 people on the stream. That's awesome. Yeah, press that like button if you could. Okay, I'm going to start this thing up. We're going to go thermal. Are we good? Everyone's ready? No magic smoke. So pay attention to the power meter. It's right there. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 0.02 is what we want. And I'm going to press the power button. And my power button is still not working over here. So I'm going to have to press it on the motherboard instead. Okay. Flip it over. Oh, shit. Woo! Uh-oh. I saw some fire coming out over here. Did y'all see that? That was crazy. I mean, I didn't literal fire, but there was a lot of heat coming out from this area of the board. A lot. And I pulled it off. I unplugged it like as fast as I could because I want to look at it more strategically. So let's try that again. Actually, let me measure to see if it blew back out. It's not blown up. Do we have a short somewhere on the output? Let's check that, actually. Because we could have a shorted capacitor in this area, and then that's what blew this chip out, and we kind of have a false positive. So no short there. No short there. Sorry, I got to get more comfortable in my chair here. So this is saying it's a ground, and this is not a ground, so that's fine. 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 Okay. Okay, that was just... See, this tricks you. This is the input of a power rail into the... I don't know, whatever this 5-volt power rail or something like that. It was showing shorted for a second until the capacitor is filled up. So that's a false positive. So that's fine. I mean, I'm not seeing a short in this area. It's kind of interesting that that heated up so much in this area, but maybe it's on the other side of the board. Let's take a look on the other side of the board just in case. That's going to be right here. There's no short there. I don't know. I'm going to plug it back in, and we're going to try it one more time, but we're going to do it quick. And maybe I should do... I'm going to stay on this side just for a second, then we'll unplug it. I just want to see if it's getting any hotter in this area. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Can you adjust the meter? Thank you. I need to put some more tape on here. I usually tape it to the desk, but I keep moving it around. And until it wants to move. Every time I bump it. Okay. Ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. I mean, that's really hot right there. I almost saw the shape of the chip show up right there. I've already unplugged it. I almost saw the shape of the chip. So it has to be that chip getting hot. So test the voltage connector. Can you test the voltage at power connector? Yeah, I mean, when it's plugged in, like right now it's plugged in, it's not on. So we are getting the voltage all the way through here in the main power rail, hence us being able to power it on, right? So we have voltage coming in here. But what I want to figure out is why that chip's getting burning hot. Let's double check that we don't have a bad soldering job, I guess. I guess that would be a reason. Or should we just put an EM5209 on there? Maybe that chip's bad we put on there. Short color at 0.6. Yeah, but it's not shorted right here. That's what's funny. So it's only getting hot once it turns on, but if I measure this rail, which is what we have been messing with, right? We don't have a short here, so there's nothing to actually inject into. I mean, I can inject there, that's ground. That's ground. But this is where we were injecting before, is right here. So there's nothing to inject into, because there's nothing shorted there. 50 ohms, that's fine, because that's going to be on the chipset. But this is where we are shorted. Put the same chip on. I'm thinking that we should probably just put that EM, yeah, just to eliminate the cause. Thank you. That's why I just needed, yeah, I just need validation for that. All right, so I'm going to do our trick that we did a second ago. I'm just going to put Kapton tape on there instead of even that aluminium. And I'm not going to put that because maybe that's a false sense of security to protect that piece with the aluminum. How much time we got? Oh, we still got 30 minutes. We still have to do our Is It Real, It's Fake segment. Is it real or is it fake? With singing. Okay, let me remove this and then we will put the correct one on there. I'm going to go with Mystery Flux from AliExpress on this one, and we can see how it looks. Yeah, the aluminum must have been a heated conductor. I always thought it would be good shielding, but maybe what I should do is put down the Kapton tape, then put the shielding, then put the thing on top. I don't know. Just do a little sandwich layer. I don't know. All right. So we're using Mystery. This is supposed to be Amtech 559, but it's AliExpress version. So, oh, it's so thick. It's so thick and creamy. Aye. But it's sticking around the chip. I like that already. Okay, we got that off already. And we had, you know, pin 1 was correct. We didn't have it on there backwards because that would be the other thing. And if you actually look at the way that this is actually set up, you can see that this entire thing is ground. So we have a ground pad that goes straight through here, connecting to ground. And then this is probably some input, output, input, output. So it's some sort of U-gate, and it's just kind of passing through, and these are probably triggers on and off. Something like that. Let me grab a donor board that has the right chip on it. I don't know if I have any that I've already stolen parts off of. Nope, it wasn't backwards. We confirmed that. That mystery flux actually worked pretty good. Almost better than NF flux. But I'm still experimenting with it. Let me find one that's already designated as a parts board. Okay, there's one. I don't have that many that are already designated parts board. So then I get to kind of pick. I'm like, okay, this one has a GPU error 43 and the board's bent. And I think this one has a bad core underneath. So it's like, which one do I not want to feel like trying to fix? Power on. I think this one has a bad PCH. So let's try that one, see if that one has it. I'll start with this one. Please be the right one. Please be the right one. No, it's the other chip. It's the inferior chip. That chip's inferior. Okay. Next one. We could also just go on a random board and find it too. Did we get a winner? I think it's a chicken dinner right here. If I can get it to not reflect. Oh my gosh. I can't see. Oh my gosh. There we go. Yo, we got a wiener. Okay. What did I miss? The cap was showing shorted because the M5200, yeah, so it was the M5209 was showing shorted on that one coil, and that whole area was showing shorted. But once we took that off of there, then that short was gone. But then it's getting like burning hot, so we don't know why it's doing that. I mean, we could still have tons of current going through here. So here's what we're going to do. Is we're going to put this new one on here, right? So it'll be number 2. And if that thing's still getting hot, then we know something's going through that getting hot, and that's probably why that chip burned out. So we got to figure out what that's trying to power after that and what's actually messed up, because there's probably something else going on. Test before extraction. Okay, so I'll measure in this area. I'm just going to mark my GPU and CPU. This is telling me that I stole parts off of it. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. And then I'm going to be chasing my tail. It could be that JW 10F was bad, maybe. Maybe. Okay, so we're going to measure this area. We should have, what did we say it was? 0.95 K ohms. So 0.95 K ohms. And this one, I can't remember what this one's supposed to be, but that's in K ohms too. So I'm not seeing an issue here. That's ground in the middle. The output is not shorted. And this output's not shorted. So chip looks good to me. So we will pull it off momentarily. We've seen schematics, 2 types of chips have different resistance in the circuit. Yeah, it could be. Could they actually have different resistors in there? Gregory, thanks for the sub. Okay. Okay, what am I doing? Turn this around. Now I'm getting distracted. Inject 0.7. Where am I supposed to inject voltage if there's no short? Well, I'm back. To the output of the IC. Okay, you just want to see if it does anything. I'm telling you right now, if there's no short on here, then there's nothing. NF flux now, please. You'd love to see how it flows. Okay. We will do that next. Yes. So we have this off. You want me to inject it now? We'll do it. 0.7 volts on the output. I don't know which one's the output and which one's the input, but we'll inject it anyway. Okay. Go thermal. All right, so here's the output. 0.7 volts. It's not pulling any current at all because we have like 100, we have 0.95 ohms. I mean, K ohms. So we always have 1,000 ohms. And here's the input. Oops, that was me slipping. Here's the input. Input, this one's actually doing something a little bit. I can hear my meter making a little bit of noise. We can up the voltage a little bit. So let me move my hand out of the way and see if we can see anything getting warm on this. That's a reflection. What about over here? Okay, I'm going to stop it. Oh yeah, it's right here. Something's getting warm right there. So let's go down into that area. So something in this area is getting warm. And it may be, you know, maybe it is that. You might be onto something. Or we're just backfeeding the circuit. So, yeah, setting higher voltage probably, yeah, was what ends up making it happen. So let me go back over here. So we're looking at this area right here. This is a diode. Okay, so just so you can see it with a microscope, it's hard to get them both lined up at the same time because they don't point perfectly at each other, but here's what I'm thinking it is. I'm going to inject it again. It's going to be one of these components. It could even be this little guy right here. Test the second board. Yeah, I'm going to do that in a second. I just want to see. This is a diode or a capacitor? It looks like a capacitor. PJ. PQ is this, PD, so that would be power diode, so it's a diode. Let's test this in diode mode real quick. So I'm in diode mode now. I'm just going to measure across this. 0.15 seems kind of low. 0.36, ooh, has the reverse voltage on this isn't correct. I mean, it could be correct for this board, but I'm going to test our other board, another board real quick. So this board actually comes on. So here's one that's supposed to be functioning properly, kind of. Darn it. I got all these stickers on here. Don't have enough power, I know. I can up the power, the voltage. I'm just, right now we're going to start kind of low here. I just want to see what this diode is measuring at. So we got open that way. And we got 0.16 that way. So we go back this way again. It's saying open. Mark, I don't see any buffering going on my side here. So I don't think it's a buffering issue. So that's measuring fine. This is the ground I'm measuring now. 0.36. Alcohol, I would have to up the voltage in order for alcohol to show up. That's why I haven't put alcohol on it. But I think we will probably do that. I'm kind of thinking the diode might be kind of leaky. What do you think? Yeah, I'm thinking replace the diode, really. I mean, it could be something else that's tied in this area, right? Because it could be this chip itself. What? Community sub. Gifted 5 subs. Thank you so much. Razor, man. And we got a hype train running again. The diode is not open. Because this is a test board I was just doing the diode open on. It's open one way and not open the other way, but this is the one that we were measuring. This is the customer's board. So let's measure it again. So we're in diode mode right now. So if I measure across it, we're getting 0.15 voltage drop. If I measure it the other way, 0.36, okay? So both ways are getting a voltage drop. So it's actually, it's not blocking it one way. So this is a board that functions here. If I measure that same diode on this other board, we get 0.16 one way, which is correct, and then we get open line the other way. I mean, we got a beep for a second, but then we got open line. So maybe there's something else tied in there. Dennis donated $10 to the stream. Thank you. So any of the donations, any of the super chats, things like that, that go towards the stream, we're going to put it towards these customers' repairs to help pay for them. So that is something I like to donate to them. Let me test this other board that we're about to steal the parts from. I know we're sitting here going on and on about this, but I'm just kind of trying to wrap my head around what's going on. So again, we have a diode. When I measure across it this way, it says open line. And I measure this way, I get 0.16. So yeah, just replacing the diode could do it. Let's inject voltage again, I guess, and then we'll try to put some alcohol in it. Maybe I'll go up on the voltage just to get that out of the way. And then we'll just replace it, I think. Because I think it could be the chip too. I can't really tell in this area. So we're at 1 volt. I don't know how many volts are supposed to be in this area. So I don't want to go too high. I can't really tell what it is. See, it's not enough. So we're going to go up to 1.4 volts. That's the diode, man. It's the diode, man. We got a leaky diode. One more time. Yep. Look at that diode go. Good call. Good call on that injecting voltage, because I would not have done that. I would not have done that because it was measuring such a high ohms, you know, and so it kind of tricked you. So I guess if I would have measured in diode mode, then I would have figured this out pretty quickly. And I guess if we go back over here and measure these two that we were measuring in ohms, measuring the resistance, I bet that we're going to have 0.31 here, 0.36 there. And on our test board, .33, 0.36. See, it's measuring the same, so it's kind of hard. I don't know. It's still, anyway. I think we're onto something. So we'll replace both of them, or should we just pull that diode off and see if it resolves that chip, or should we still switch it to the EM5209? Because I don't even know if we need to switch that out now. Because what it's probably doing is it's outputting, and then the diode's almost shorting back to the other power rail or ground or whatever that thing's hooked to. Replace both. Yeah. It's probably a good call though, right? We already took this chip off, so I guess we have to replace both. Let's do it. Let's do it. So is this the one we were taking it off of? I can't tell. So there's our EM5209 that we're about to steal. We're about to shank that thing, steal it right off of there. And then we'll move it over. Check the test board to see if the diode heats up when you inject voltage output too. Okay, we'll do that. All right, due diligence. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Test board, go. Test board, when I put on here, nothing, it makes no noise at all. So it's, you can't even see that. But when I'm injecting voltage onto that point, it's not making any noise at all. So I can tell that it's not pulling any current to go through that diode. So yes. Peter, welcome. Okay, I need a drink of some water. Who has the bourbon? We're gonna do both because we already pulled the chip off anyway, so I'm gonna pull them off real quick. And we're gonna be using, we had a request for NF Flux. So NF Flux is here. So pay attention. Electronic Repair School. Is that Soren? That's SL Electronic Repair School. Hello. All right, so I'm going to preheat the board just for a second. This is our donor board we're taking this off of. Preheat the board for a second. Now I'm going to put the flux on here. Comes out really fast. I want you to pay attention how it runs for dear life. Oh, it smells like lotion. Okay. It's weird. Look at, you see how, it's like watery. So we have the NF Flux in action. Chip off. So I'm going to pull this chip and I'm going to put it over here so I don't lose it. And then I'm going to pull that diode too while we're at it. Right here. We're going to pull it NF Flux style. Do not stop over. Montgomery, what are you talking about? You're just telling the people not to stop by? I don't like how this is just, it's all gone. I think this NF Flux is really good for a soldering iron, but it's not as good for hot air. Or maybe my hot air is, maybe I just put too much air pressure. So I'm doing 60% air, but this is how I use it with all the other fluxes. It works just fine. So. All right. I don't like how it runs either. Yeah, it's weird, right? Doesn't it? It just runs away. So now we're gonna use, I don't know, 559 now. We'll go back to that. So I'm gonna take this off. So y'all just saw me take off with the NF Flux, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna use the exact thing, but I'm gonna use the 559, which is the Amtech. And we're gonna do the exact same process we just did. I'm gonna put some here. And here. And it didn't blob out as big either because it doesn't have as big of a tip. And we're gonna do this again. So this is 559. Now, you notice how the 559 is kind of sticking to the chip itself? You see how it's still around it? So that's one thing that I noticed, that the viscosity is a little different when it comes to sticking to it. Now, this one did kind of blow away still. The 213 doesn't do that as much. So this is our bad one, supposedly. Actually, I want to look at it with a meter. Which way does this go? I just want to make sure. Okay, so the line is over here. Okay. Let's measure this with our meter. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with NF Flux is. I want to like it. That's all I'm saying. I want to like it. So if I measure this, I'm measuring open. Okay, if I flip it. Interesting. Okay, so we might have something with the board because that's measuring fine. Let me do it with this. Let me measure it here again. 0.63. So there's something in line with this, or lined up with this. I bet it's this chip. You see that? It's still measuring the same with that diode off of there. So 3.4 that way. 6. I mean, it's measuring different because that diode's off of there. So what do we think? I'm going to replace the chip too. Because I don't know. It's something in this area. Does that sound like a good deal? Since we're here. Inject again. Okay, we'll inject again. Injecting again. It's not making the noise though. Huh. So we are injecting 1.4 volts at that same point. My ground's good. Yes. And it's not doing it. So, hey, I guess it is leaky. Let me put that diode on there, the new diode on there, and see what it does. So here's our new one, brand new. Brand spanking new, never been used for anything. Is it the same number? I don't want to get them mixed up, but. So this one's a different number too. They love to just put random chips on here. This is all the time. I see this all the time. Same board, same part number, same board print, different chips. They do this all the time. Measure the donor board. Let me install this real quick and then we can measure the donor board. I just want to put this on while we're here. I already have it lined up. And so when I put this back on, I generally don't put flux on there until I tack it in place. That's just kind of my way of doing it. Tack it in place. We're going, here's 213. 213. This is my favorite one. Look how it sticks around. I mean, it's still kind of blowing away. Weird. But, okay, so that's back on there. Okay. Flux roulette. Do you like it? Maybe they're all mixing together. Yeah, we should have it. I haven't actually used the MG mechanical, so we could try that one in a second too. I got them all. Look at all these. All right, so now we will do more voltage injection. Well, here's the thing about Dell, the way they manufacture these. So this board is a compound board, right? Because it's an LA number. But what you'll see is the manufacturer was GCE, I think, on this one. There you go, vendor GCE. And then this was vendored by GCE. So that's the one that had the same chip on it. So here's one that probably has a different chip. This one was vendored by UT, whoever the heck that person is. And then this one was vendored by UT again. And then we have, anyway, but you see how, you get my point. So there's different companies making these things or assembling them or whatever you want to call it. So they're going to be using whatever they have staffed. So what we were going to do next, we were going to inject voltage again, measure. We're going to measure. So let me measure across this diode again, now that we have this out of here. So measure this way. 0.1. That was correct. This way was supposed to be open. No, we still have 0.3 when we measure the other way. Okay, let's inject the voltage again. Le voltage on that pin. Yeah, we're still getting something going over there again. You can hear it kind of whistling, so it is putting voltage through there again. Measure the donor board. What do we want to measure the donor board for again? Now that this is off of here? Is that what you're saying? That way, 0. This way, it's saying 0 now. Interesting. Pressing down hard. Oh, so it's filling up capacitors, you can tell. You see how it kind of goes up in value? I'm thinking we have something else that's in line with all this stuff that's causing a kind of a weird reading. This is definitely a lot harder than those first two repairs we did, right? Right? There's more thought involved. And we're kind of chasing our tails. I'm thinking we may have an issue with one of these chips here. Like this guy. But, you know, it could be, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking it might be the chip, Robert. No one else is getting live buffering, I don't think. The board view could tell us something, but I generally don't like to use board views unless we really, really have to. We're not having an issue trying to find... Well, I guess we can try to figure out where things are connected, but... let me measure this coil again. Let's see what this coil measures at. So we're in diode mode. 0.13 that way, and we're going to ground. 0.35. So this is basically in parallel across that, right? So this is ground right here. I'm thinking. Sorry for the beeping, guys. It's 1 ohm? That's not ground. What is that? What in the wide world of sports? What is that? Oh, there's our problem. It's what the diode's connected to. So, to sum it up, this side right here, this is our test board. This side's, well, I don't have a diode on here, but this side's measuring a really high nothing. And this side is measuring 0 ohm, or 1 ohm. Let me grab a board that still has that on there. That's where we should actually be injecting or measuring. This one still has everything intact. So I'm going to measure across here. Ah, so there it is, yep. Do you see that? So we're measuring here, we got 1.6 ohms, or 1.6 kilo ohms. All right. We weren't injecting in the right spot, and so when we were injecting through there, it was actually going through that diode, and then the diode was getting hot because it was going through it. All right, so now we know where we can actually inject some voltage. It takes 873, well, about 900 heads to figure this out. Oh. Okay, here we go. So we're going to inject on the outside output of that. And 1.4 volts is way too much at this point. So we really only need like, well, I guess 1 ohm's kind of high. So, but we sit at 1 volt. And going thermal quickly. Here we go. Now what's getting hot? The chip. Are you kidding me? No burritos tonight. I think it's the chip. Or is it the diode? Can't tell. Yeah, it would be nice to actually have that P3, I think, because then we can actually see in focus what's actually getting hot over here, because I'm just going to kind of keep doing this. The diode's getting hot. Did we just put a shorted diode on here? No, because this isn't shorted here. Come on. Come on, man. Is it on the other side of the board? So we're looking for 1.26 ohms. Let's see if we can find that over here. Here we go. Right here, 1.29 ohms. So let's measure here. Let's inject here. See, I'm just trying to find where we're going. And oh, sorry, you guys couldn't even see what I was looking at. So this is the other side of the board. And I just found these two capacitors right here that have that exact same measurement as the other side of the board that we were measuring. So now we can inject there and see if the thermal camera picks up something a little more pronounced on this side. But we need ground, and go. Oh man, it's on fuego there. Do we have a shorted cap right there? Ah, I think we have a shorted cap. We have an easy pizza, but it was a really hard pizza. Easy burrito, but it's a hard burrito. I think that cap is shorted right here. Dude. What the flux? Look at that. Yeah, I think this cap is done. That guy. Okay, pay attention. It took a lot of work just to get to that, right? So again, it was a chip. It was going through that other chip that burned out the original one, going through that diode, and then coming to this resistor right here. I mean capacitor. It's going to this capacitor. Oh man, that was a lot of work. The crack's on the other side. Yeah, you can kind of see a crack on top a little bit, but that's crazy. Oh. Whew. But that's, I'm happy. I'm happy. You see how these are weird ones? Like, even, like, it's a short on the board, but it's not that easy short. It's not like there's a short on the board, just inject it, like the easy one. So we had to kind of work our way through that. So, I mean, we haven't taken this off and proven my theory, but we're going to do it now. And it was all because you wanted me to inject voltage on the somewhere that I didn't want to, or I wouldn't have done. So I'm marking that down in my memory to make sure to try that. Never assume anything. 100,000%. It's the community. I love it. Take this capacitor off of here. Okay. The capacitor is off. Let's take a look. Flip it over. And there it is. There's our explosion. That little guy. That's pretty sweet. That's a pretty sweet find, I gotta say. That's a pretty sweet find. All right, so we're gonna keep that off for right now because I don't care. I'm careless. We can come back over here. Let's measure and see if our short is gone. The short is gone. The short is gone. But we got to put that chip back on, and then we can see if this board comes on. Need better physical inspection. There's no way I could have seen that, bro. David, I need a laser beam eyes to see a cracked component because it was underneath it. Now the question is, should we put that EM5209 on there, or if we should put that other chip on there that originally was on there? It was getting hot. Because that chip burned out originally, but it was getting hot. 5209, okay. I'm getting sleepy night. Whew. Okay. That's not the board. Where's our board? Is this it? Did we already pull? Oh, we already pulled it off. That's right. It's sitting over here. Uh-oh, 9th dimension. That's right, I forgot we already pulled it off. Okay, pen 1. So Dell's really nice. They mark our boards for us. So if we look, we see there's a line here and a line here, and a line with a square. So that square is going to be our pen 1. If we look at our chip, we can see that dot. And the dot is pin 1, so we're going to flip that around. And there's our pin 1. That's our orientation that we're going to go with. And we'll put it like this. Okay. 3 a.m. in Scotland. Whew. Yeah, you're probably tired. Yeah, I'm coming on, this is 13 and a half hours at work right now. So, this is my long day. Most days I'm only here for 11 or 12 hours. Okay. So pin 1, got that lined up. Okay, here we go. Do I keep a spreadsheet? No, my spreadsheet's in my head for the most part. I thought about that the other day, actually, like doing almost like some sort of wiki like Rossman does. Look how crooked that is. You guys know why I do it crooked, right? I'm going to go with MG Mechanical on this one, because I haven't done that. I do it crooked because, oh, gross, look at that booger on the end of that. I do it crooked, and then I heat it up, and it straightens itself out. So always tack it on first, and then just reheat it with some flux. I haven't used this long. It's been too long. I think this is old. I'm not going to use the MG Mechanical. I haven't touched it in years. All right. Mystery flux. Go. Here's mystery flux in full effect. So it's crooked, just the way I like it. We're going to heat this up, and then you'll see it straighten itself out. That's about to do it. Watch out. Here it goes. Boom. You see it move itself? So, all right. So that's all lined up. It's good to go. All right. Ouch. Burned myself. All right, we're going to clean up this whole area here. Hello from Missouri. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Let's get all this cleaned up. We have a lot of cleaning to do. Where we're going, we have a lot of cleaning to do. All right. I think we used every single flux there was in the book tonight. And I think we fixed this one. So we're going to go 3 for 3. No, wait, because the other one was a bad CPU, so we didn't fix that one. Darn it. Forgot that we had a bad CPU. That's so sad. Oh, we still have to replace this cap too. Right. We'll do that in a second. I just want to make sure this thing comes on. Let me just dry this off. Okay. We'll do the cap in a second, Robert. We don't need it right this second to make sure this works. But we want to see this thing come on normally. Okay, we have to go thermal. I wonder if the power button will work now. Because maybe that had something to do with why the power button wasn't working. Huh, that'd be interesting. Power meter. Okay. What model of hot air station? It's a, what is it? ST862D, the Atten. I love it. Very good. Power meter's on. I'm just going to press the power button. Oh, wait, we didn't plug it in. Okay, 0.01, press the power button. I just want to see if this power button works real quick. My power button's still not working, or the power button itself, but it was working, the power button was working in his machine, right? So this just, my power button must be busted, which is annoying. Okay, I'm gonna press it. We're gonna go into the thermal camera because I want to see what it does. 6 more likes, guys. Come on. Press the power button. And it's not coming on. Let me press it again. There we go. We're getting nothing now. I'm going to do some measurements and make sure that we are getting our power rails up and running, because the power button doesn't seem to be triggering, so I just want to make sure that we're getting our power rails. Yeah, 0.03 is different than 0.02. We got our 5.2, which is our 5 volt. We have our 3.4, which is that. This one won't be on until we have turned the board on. Let's measure in this area. Interesting. Right when I press it, it only goes up a little bit. That's different from before. It doesn't need the cap. I mean, there was 2 caps there, so that's the thing about that. Is we had 2 caps in this area. We just took one of them off. All right, so the other one's still there. That's a strange one, because it was turning on a second ago, unless that 5209 that we put on there is no good. I pressed the power switch on the motherboard itself and not my separate one. You see under the chip it's getting hot. I don't think it's getting hot. Let's see. The EC chip should be turning on when I plug it in, so I'm about to plug it in. There's reflections here. Let me just put my hand there. So it's plugged in. It's hard to tell with this heat from me soldering a second ago. The EC chip is right here. It's this thingy. And is it on? I can't tell. And I'm going to press the power button. When I press this power button right here, 3, 2, 1. Power button's pressed. And it goes, yeah, the EC chip does come on. I've never seen this symptom before. And it's definitely worse than it was. That's soldered good. That's soldered good, right? Yeah. You guys can't see it, sorry. I'm like looking at the chip, so I'm just trying to look at the way that these things are soldered, just make sure that we did that fine. This diode, let's measure the diode. I don't know if we ended up messing up the diode. Is there a dot in the middle of it? Solvum Probler. We need to figure this out. I'm going to measure this diode area again. I just want to see if we're getting different measurements than we were before. Maybe since we resolved one issue, but we were injecting voltage, we could have caused another issue. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on here. So we're getting a high K resistance there, high K resistance there. Now we're going to go into diode mode. Good. Good. And then we're going to measure the ground. Do it again with the real flux. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Because in general, if we have a capacitor shorted to ground, we're not going to like blow out a chip like this unless it's going through it, but we did blow out this chip because it was having to go through it. I don't really understand why this is doing this. 0.03. That might be correct there. Let me throw the board out the window. Yeah, that's a good one. Here, I'm going to do this for a second. And not do anything. I'm just going to wait a second because this is hurting my brain. Oh, yeah, I'm going to probably reflow something. But this is weird. Yeah, I don't think we caused any damage from injecting the voltage. It's a strange one, though. If we hit the power button, we're getting only 0.03. Place the cap. Yeah, I mean, we could put the cap on there. Put a cap on there. That EM chip, I don't know. Maybe the EM chip's no good because I guess it needs that. Pour me a glass of bourbon. That should help too. Sleep on it. Baby, baby, sleep on it. We are past our 3 hours. The chip next to the diode. Yeah, I'm almost thinking it's the EM5209. I want to measure the voltage on that EM5209 to see if we're getting voltage in and out because, well, actually it wasn't turning on. It wasn't heating up until it turned on, but I wonder if it's getting voltage to one side of it. But, huh. What does Twitch think? That's the question. Twitch is the one who knows it all. Sus chip. I don't know. This is a. Ooh, I want a Cuban cigar. Peter, you got some? Anybody? Y'all could send me some cigars. I'll smoke those. Send me some bourbon. I'll drink that. Yeah, I think the 5209 seems weird. I almost want to put that other chip back on that worked, that we know worked, that turned on, right? Do we take the red pill or the blue pill to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? What do you think? No, we had the 3 volt and the 5 volt were there. Some wine and cheese would help. Here, I want to measure the voltage on our EM5209, our beautiful brand new EM5209. Because I ain't leaving until this board's working, or at least this board's coming on. So go in voltage mode. We have a 3.4 input here. Got a 5 volt input. So this is 3 and 5 come through here, and then are supposed to come to the output on this side. And then do we have an enable? Well, we won't have an enable yet until we turn it on, I'm assuming, but we have the 5 volts to here and the 3 volts there. Okay, so now when I press the power button, I want to see if we have the 3 volt and 5 volt coming through that. So I'm going to press the power button, which is a yar, somewhere around here. Where are you at? Power button, right there. Okay, power button's pressed. Now we're at 0.04 and then port 0.02. Came on for a second. And I keep losing where I'm trying to measure. Okay. So the board's supposedly on right now. So do we have outputs? We don't have outputs on this. Are we getting an enable signal? I mean, I don't know. Is it this chip or not? I mean, we're not pulling enough current for anything to get hot is the only issue. So Check all the voltage rails again. You didn't check them after you turned it off. So, like I have it on right now, so this should be here, right? So we have our 1 volt there. We have our 5 volts here. We have our 3 volts here. So those are all the voltage rails we had. And then this is the one that was the sus rail that was shorted, but we're not getting anything there still. And the rest of these things, we're not even getting this thing to turn on. It's almost like, I bet that's the issue. Y'all can't see what I'm pointing at, but I think it's this U17. I got 0.05 for a moment, 0.03. What if I jumped it? Control escape, BIOS recovery. It's not coming on though. Will you guys be okay with me putting this other chip back on that was working? So this one. Can I put this one back on here? We know this one turned on. That's what I'm going to do. Y'all aren't going to get mad at me for doing that. Yeah, okay. Just do something, right? Instead of just babbling on. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. We got a lot of yeps and yeses. Yes, I like that. Yeps and yeses. And this connector keeps getting a little more melted every time. Luckily it doesn't, we're just right on the edge of it. I think we're okay. Let me add a big piece of Kapton tape on there. Yeah, I need a SCSI cable to replace, apparently. That's what Spider says. Yeah, it's getting a little bit melty. You saw that too, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna cover it up a lot better, and we'll see. It's just because I keep putting stuff on there, taking it off, putting stuff on there, taking it off. So let's do, I'm gonna come all the way out to here. Put that there. Okay, that's one layer. This is just like my base layer, and then I'm gonna add another big thick one here. And then we'll add, that foil stuff is what made it melted in the first place. So here's our thick Kapton. There we go. And then we can put this foil on top of there. How's that? Is that good? Boom. Hey, Paul Daniels is here. Mr. Paul Daniels in the house. We have a weird one, Paul. Very weird. So this is our third system we're working on. The first one we fixed in like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. This one, the second one had a bad CPU. This one is, this chip was blown. We changed it out, started getting really hot. And then we figured out that it actually was powering this area over here. And this diode was getting hot, and then we figured out the output of that was actually shorted to a shorted capacitor. We got that fixed. So we've actually replaced all of this, but now the board's not coming on at all. And at one point we were getting it to come on with the replaced chip, but it was getting really, really hot. So we're actually going to put back on the chip that was hot to see if that fixes it. So we will see. But we keep changing this chip out, so it's getting hotter and hotter. Okay, we got it off of there. So this is our EM5209, and we're just going to put our other chip on there that is the other number, but this one actually heated up when we turned it on before. I haven't put any flux on here yet, you've noticed. We're just going to tack it on here. Okay, that's tacked. Let's put, what are we going with now? 559. And we have a pin that's doubled right there in the corner. I'll replace the cap too, since you guys are very insistent about it. This doesn't really matter because these pins are actually tied together, but for prettiness, there you go. Yeah, Arnold, I'm just doing it for, you know, looks. It's a fashion statement, all right? Okay, we got to replace this capacitor. Where was it? Right here. Yep, this one right there. Ooh. I'm getting sleepy. Beauty points, 10 out of 10. Okay. All right. That's pre-tinned. Pre-tinned. And we're just going to pull this guy. It's the same one. That guy right there. Yeah, this board is a wolf. Yeah, this board is a pain in the butt. We actually thought we were getting somewhere whenever we were like, oh, we finally found a shorted capacitor. Perfect. And then nothing. And then crickets. Crickets after that. I know what the issue is. I don't have a glass of bourbon in my hand. This is 559. Stay there. Why are you trying to blow away? There we go. Okay. It's funny because it looks like a different size and shape, but same board, different probably manufacturer or whatever it is, or assembler. I haven't been looking at the chat too much. My brain's getting a little zonked. So sorry about that. Let me turn off all this noise. All right, what are we gonna do now is figure out, finally, the cap. Captain America. Yes, you're happy that I replaced the cap. Caps are usually least important to me, but you can figure it out. Uh-oh. I'm running out of alcohol over here. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe this down just quick like. Okay, so let's, should we do any measurements or should we just turn the darn thing on? I'm just gonna do a little bit of probing just in case. So here's that area where we replaced the diode. That's measuring fine. We're in continuity mode. We don't have any shorts here. Now I'm gonna go into diode mode. Red probe on here. I just want to see what it's doing. And all that's measuring fine. Now we're going to go black probe. So that's reverse voltage. Good. 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 Okay, so all of it looks fine to me. But what does it mean? Okay. So we're going to go thermal. It's going to be hard to see because the board's still hot. I'm probing the hell out of these aliens tonight. Power button's here, and I'm going to turn on the power button. Pay attention to the power meter. Same result. Same result, guys. I don't know. It's weird because whenever that shorted capacitor was there, it was actually turning on. But whenever we replaced the shorted or got rid of the shorted capacitor with a short, it was no longer turning on. Yeah, I put my microscope on a tilt so that I don't have reflections. Right? So we go tilt like this, then I have a little bit of, you know, it's not all in focus. But if I go straight up and down like this, then I have all these crazy reflections. So I don't like that. So I just tilt it, and then it's actually better for your back and your neck. It's ergonomic. The power button is good, yes, because whenever we do press it, it is coming on. You can see that it does change voltage, but we can measure right here. So here's our power button. I'm going to measure the voltage on it. It should have 3.1, basically, somewhere in there. 3.0, 3.1. I press it. Let me find something to press it with. I'm measuring. I press it. It's pulling low. And then it comes back up. And then you'll see the current on the meter goes from 0.02 to 0.03, and then it goes to 0.04. It's a really strange one, though, because this power sequence is not supposed to do this. It's supposed to jump up immediately. And we were seeing something different before, so I don't know what something else basically is blown out now. There's something I'm missing. Yeah, the only problem with having it tilted is the out of focus in some areas. So like this is out of focus here, but that's in focus, focus, you know. And the camera is actually different than my view here. So when I look through here, like this is the center of my view, and see how it's off on the camera. I don't know why it is. So I have to actually always make sure that things are a little bit lower in my view. Call it a night. Yeah, maybe I'll call it a night because I've been going for 3.5 hours. But we could chat for a little bit if you want to do that. Oh, let's do our segment on is it real if it's fake, if y'all want to do that. Y'all want to do that real quick? I'm going to call it on this. I'll mess with it tomorrow because my brain is zonked. I appreciate everyone allowing me to do that too. Everyone's so supportive. My wife is always telling me that you guys are so supportive and telling me to take a break, and like it's good. It's good because I will just keep going and going and going. So I appreciate that. But we will do our segment that we started last week called Is It Real or Is It Fake? And what we're trying to do is I want you to see if you can identify, and I'm not going to tell you this time, because I did kind of give you the rules or lay of the land of how you can tell if something is real or fake from a Dell product, if it's aftermarket or a knockoff, right? Or a knockoff aftermarket or a Dell original or OEM. Let me clean this off because I hate things being dirty. It's already fake. Yeah. All right. So let me see. What do I have? I can't remember what I have up here. I'm going to keep trying to add these every single week. Okay, let me grab a couple more just to make sure that we have a good variety. Okay. So we're doing batteries tonight because that's what I have here. All right. So the first one we're going to do I have my scale? I don't know if we need the scale for the batteries, but it sometimes will help because batteries usually are pretty heavy. What do I do with my scale? I have so many cubbies everywhere. I don't know what I did with my scale. Well, that's not going to be very helpful. All right, well, we're just going to start with this first one here. Is it real or is it fake? Okay, so this is going to be a Dell battery, and we have a Dell logo here. We have the watt hour. We have a type number. We have a Dell serial number sticker. We have all the fun, safety things here. The serial number is really what we like to use, what I like to use. But we can just examine the outside first. I want to see if it's shiny or what type of material it's made of. I want to see the font. If we look at the font, sometimes it'll be a little funky. Sometimes the wording is going to be a little weird too, on the way that it writes like this message up here. So disconnect the battery before accessing any parts or devices. Longer post times may occur. Disconnected. Okay. And then we have this. That font looks a little weird, but I think it's okay. So let's check this date code real quick. Or let's check the serial number. Remember how we read this before? Serial number, where's my pointer? The serial number is CN. This is China. That's the country of who manufactured this. This is the Dell part number, so it's going to be 01RR3. I don't know what that code is for. This is our date code, so when it was manufactured. The rest of this stuff is basically the whole serial number, so it's the revision, and then see, here's the part number right there. All right, so what year was this manufactured? 2002 or 2012? So 2002 is that. This is the month, so this is like the 12th month. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 9, and then that's the 12th month and the second day. So is it real or is it fake? Oh, we'll look at the back too. This is the other thing I want you to look at is the back of the battery. You'll see the back of the battery will look a little funky. Sometimes it will have like weird tape on it or something. Everyone's saying it's fake. I got some reels. 2002, 2012, 2022. That's what Storm Chasers are saying. Paul Daniels. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Okay. So I see a lot of fakes in here. This is a real battery. I wanted to throw it in there just because I wanted you guys to really see. All right. So now we're going to do some other one. I thought it looked a little questionable, but it definitely is real. It's definitely a real battery. All right. Here we go. Next one. Is it real or is it fake? All right, so we have our... Wait a minute, we're missing something over here. What is going on here? Oh, it has a sticker on it. What's the sticker? Why is the sticker on here? What is it? Oh, it actually does say Dell. It just has a sticker over it. Why would it have a sticker over it? We do have the type. We do have the things here. We have our serial number. All that looks okay. Let's see what the serial number is. All right, based on this serial number, is it real or fake? Yeah, the shipping violation. Oh yeah, the reason why they put a sticker over this is because they would be committing fraud or whatever if they put a sticker over it. This means it was imported from China directly. So it could be a real battery, it could be a fake battery, but they still have to put a sticker over it. Or they're counterfeiting it or whatever. You know, it's coming from a Chinese factory. So right here, I can tell you that it was manufactured in 2020. The 10th month, right? But this date code says it was manufactured in 2026 or 2016, the 8th month. So this is a fake one. Fake sticker, yeah. It is a real matrix code. You see this is matrix, but sometimes you'll see it as a QR code with the squares in the corner. So anyway, this is definitely a fake one. The other thing you'll look at, again, is the back. And the back of this actually looks okay. You can see the shapes of the cells, but this is like a sticky cover that you can peel off. So, and it has this China sticker on here. So, all right. Some of these are, I don't know how redundant this is, but let's see if you're learning. All right, so what are we looking at again? We're looking at logos. We're looking at the font. We're looking at the wording up here. Disconnect the battery before accessing any parts or devices. Longer post times may occur. It's funny because you'll have this be weird Chinese saying or whatever, you know, like weird translations. So that actually looks fine. Date code. (2022). Doesn't have a weird time in there. Real, real, real. Yep, you got it. You got it. Real, real, real. It's real. Okay, last one. This may be a stupid, redundant thing. Maybe the AC adapters is more fun to do, but okay, last one. Here we go. Paul Bunker, is this real? Or are you talking about the other one? This should be 1,000%. Yeah. 1,000. I should see 700 words of fake in here. 700 people should be saying fake, 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 fake. Yeah, there's no serial number on it. Doesn't have a Dell logo. It just is kind of like weird fonts, weird coloring. I mean, everything about it is fake. The saying at the top is, let me show you the saying at the top. It's so good. Please disconnect and remove battery before accessing the rest parts, the rest parts and devices. The rest parts. Perfect. We made 700 likes. Great job, guys. It's a genuine imitation. Okay, that was it. That's all I had. That's all I had for that. It's kind of stupid. What a stupid thing. But here's what we talked about this earlier, but I'm going to show you this one more time because we have a lot more people here. This is what we're going to be messing with coming up soon in another stream. This is my 1991. I got to open this up again. My 1991 320N Plus. We're going to try to get this thing working. So we got to figure it out. I've never turned it on. It's been sitting in my display case for years, many, many years. So I'm going to see if we can get this thing to turn on. The screen looks a little messed up maybe right here, like it might be damaged, but it's probably not even a, I don't know, you can kind of see that weird, almost looks like the Veil Nebula in it. But it has lots of features. Brightness. Oh, look, clicky. I actually did a short on this a few years ago, or I guess last year. Have y'all seen that short that I did? I'll drop it into the, let me drop it in our chat real quick. Because it was pretty funny. It was kind of a ridiculous thing that I was trying to do, but going over it. But so what we're going to try to do is I'm going to have to make like a barrel jack because I don't know what voltage it runs at. I'm going to have to try to see if we can get the battery, or I don't know if it needs a battery or not, but we're going to have to try to figure that out too. And darn it, I need to see if I can find this thing. Sorry, I'm looking through all my old shorts here. I can probably pull it up. I don't know if I have it set up where it actually ports the audio through to the stream. That's what I've never actually tested that. Here it is, 30-year-old vintage fine. Okay, so I'm going to drop this into the chat for you. And let me see if I can pull this up. But this is so I did like a little commercial on this. Yeah, the battery is this. It's a 12, well, it's an 8.4. I mean, it's so heavy. It's like 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds. It's 8.4 volts. NiCad. And so I doubt I could wake this thing back up, but we're going to be able to make a charger for it because it uses some sort of barrel jack here, and so it's probably a 12 volt is what I'm thinking, so that's what I'm probably going to end up using. Open it up and replace the cells. Yeah, that could be something fun to do. Take an RC car battery or something like that. It's fake. It's fake. Fake. But what's cool about this one, you know, we have an on-off switch here. We have our floppy disk drive here. We have an access door with all the ports, some PS2s, some serials, some parallel ports. And then we have expansion bays, but they are not populated. So I guess it used to, or it could have a dial-up modem put in here, probably a 14.4, because this is like a 1991, so 14.4 would probably be the best you can do. And then it has upgrades right here in this little door. So this is where you can upgrade to, I think it's 1 mega RAM that's in here right now, but I think you can upgrade to 5, and then you can put probably, this is probably like a math coprocessor or something like that. So I think it's a 386, 286, 386. I don't know. My video says it in there. I can't remember. Wonder if I can play the video. Let me see. I don't know if it ports the audio through to you. Let's see if it does that.
Well, Dell did.
Did y'all hear that just now? Probably not. 286, 287. That's too hard. How do I port the audio to you? I could put it as a browser. Let's do that. What's a browser? A math coprocessor.
Well, Dell did a superb job when they built this
All right.
1991 Behemoth. When you take a look at its size and dimensions, you'll notice it's a bit larger and beefier than most others in its weight class.
hear it.
The
Can y'all hear
8.4-inch
that?
super
Yeah, you
low
guys-
resolution screen is exceptionally bright in a dark room and is easily adjustable. Ooh, looky. The clicky keyboard is a gamer's dream and pairs perfect with a 20 MHz 386 under the hood. This will provide more than enough gigawatts to make you realize you want more power. And for the touchpad, who needs one of those? It comes packed full of 1 meg of RAM, which is easily upgradable to 5 megs, if you can imagine that. And I would have never thought that this 2-pound gold brick of a battery would have been able to power this steed, but for $33.99, it's a steal. Well, Dell did a superb job when they built this.
Anyway, that was pretty funny, right? Yeah, wow, gigawatts. Anyway, so we're going to do this on another stream. I'm going to have to try to, I need to get a barrel jack. I need to kind of figure out if it takes 12 volts or what, and then we're going to just kind of try to see if we can get this thing working. I think it'll be kind of a fun project to mess with. Whatever it takes, 220, 221, $4,000. It was $3,400, yeah, when it was new. So that would be what, $7,000 now, or $8,000 or $10,000 or whatever. But only 1 gig of RAM. But if it can upgrade to 5 megs, if you can imagine that. Let's get the coprocessor. Oh, maybe I should try to order one of those. That'd be cool if it actually had a 320N math coprocessor. I wonder if we have that. 320N, Dell 320N coprocessor. No. Oh, but wait. What? Look at this. Whoa. If I could get this working, I can sell it for $7,000? Is that what you're telling me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Although they have all the accessories. 320N, 60 megabyte drive, VGA serial. What is this thing? I don't know what that is. So this one already has 4K, 4 megs of extended RAM. Does he have the power adapter though? What's his power adapter? Okay, so that must be the power adapter. So this is the power adapter? Huh. Oh, there's the mouse. Because if you noticed, it didn't have a mouse. Yeah, there's like no touchpad on this thing. That's crazy. $7,000? That's like current prices. But there's no power supply. Or that'd be cool if there was a power supply. Nope. I mean, if someone can find that math coprocessor, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Anyway, I'll look around, see if we can find something. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. One of the accessories is the trackball. Yeah, because it has that serial port for the trackball. I think I have a serial mouse somewhere. I can dig around, and that way we can have a mouse. But we're going to have to find a... Oh, look up 287. Is that what I need to look for? Okay. Oops. 287. Oh, here's one. Hey, this one turns on. So they're only selling this one for $96, and then they're selling this one for $7,000. So to me, that looks like a business opportunity. So you could just buy this one and then sell it for $7,000. What do you think? So this one comes with the charger. I can see that the screen's turning on. Does it show us if it actually has the coprocessor in it, the 287? Oh, it's not populated, so it's missing it. That's why it's only worth $96, because it's missing that, right? Well, if anybody finds that, because this is a 286, right? Or is it a 386? So then you would find the 287 versus the... Well, if anyone finds it, send it to my email address, repairs@parts-people.com, because that'd be interesting if we can try to do that. I know it hasn't sold at that price. That's one of those things where you just kind of like spray and pray, right? You just mark it down for whatever price. List it for $7,000 or best offer. Best offer, $96. What SSD would I recommend? Probably a Western Digital Black. Go. You sent a Discord ping for the power adapter. Okay, thanks. I'm looking. I don't see it. Arnold, I don't see it, but I'll have to look in there. Maybe I don't have you set up here. Arnold. Or is it in Fun Chat? Kitty, what do you got? You found something? Let me copy this link. It's not letting me copy it. Why can't I copy it? Oh, so there it is, $17. Ooh, look at that. 17 bones. All right, we might have that in our future. It's in New Zealand, so we're not getting it done anytime soon. Anyway, I think that'll be fun. I think I'm gonna have to log off. It's been like what, 4 hours now. I just have too much fun. I get carried away. So 19.5. Really? No. 4.62 amps. What? Well, I wanted to make one. I'm going to make an end that hooks to my meter. Because if it's that, then we just need a barrel jack, and I'll just make an adapter that plugs into our adapter here then. If it's 19 volts, then we can just run it through our power meter, because we got to plug it into the power meter, right? See you Sunday. Yes, so Sunday is our next live stream. It'll be 9 a.m. Central Time. We will do whatever we're going to do. We'll maybe do more repairs, or maybe we'll play around with one of these vintage repairs or old machines. And but we fixed one really quickly. We figured out one was a bad CPU, and then we figured out one was a rabbit hole that we spent hours on the rest of the stream, and we still haven't figured out what's going on with it. That's a 286, not the 286 or 287 math coprocessor. Yeah, so that may not be the right thing, right? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And I thought it was a 386 anyway. So you found a 387 SX on eBay for $5. Deliver them, 2 of them. Yeah, so anyway, thanks to each and every single one of you. I appreciate all that y'all did, all the donations. I appreciate you guys donating and subbing. And I had so many subscriptions tonight. We actually had 25 donated to us, and another 5, and all the bits and all the good stuff. And Twitch, thanks for tuning in. And YouTube, thanks for tuning in. And next live stream is going to be Sunday morning. And I hope to see you there. Have a good evening.